victimhood. Republicans love to cry victim, and that's a fascinating phenomenon to watch. Donald Trump loves to be the center of attention. You mentioned that it seems like, that there's concern they went after him, the man, instead of the crime. He loves to be gone after. He loves to be the center of attention. He doesn't want people talking about his policies or his actions. He wants people talking about him. Trump's a crybaby.
Eisner also criticized Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall for visiting New York City in order to support Trump during that trial. Eisner said that Marshall should have stayed in the state in order to deal with crime that's going on here. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Where I was living was not a great place to live anymore. I began to pray for a place to go, praying for all of these things that a 9-year-old would want. I wanted horses, big house with a bunch of people my age. I wanted parents. I wanted a mom and a dad. Before I even prayed it, the Lord had already answered my prayer with the Big Oak Ranch. Who would that 9-year-old be if she never came to the Big Oak Ranch? I would be trying to fight for survival instead of fighting to break a cycle.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall announces the sentencing of a Rogersville man for possession of child pornography. 52-year-old Kevin Prather entered a guilty plea in Lauderdale County Circuit Court. AG Marshall says that child pornography inflicts never-ending harm on the victims every time the images are viewed and distributed. He called it an abhorrent crime that damages society. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For many years, my team and I have worked diligently to provide our veterans with top-notch service, as it is our honor to serve those who have served us in the armed forces. Madeline and I are certified veteran lending specialists. Nationwide, there are over 22 million veterans that qualify to purchase a home through the VA loan program. Yet less than 2 million of them currently have a VA home loan. Many lenders do not keep up with the ever-changing guidelines and benefits of the VA loan program. They are intimidated by the program, resulting in many veterans not obtaining VA loans. This is unacceptable. The VA home loan program offers service members and veterans with 100% financing. You've already paid your down payment. If you are currently serving or have honorably discharged, we would love an opportunity to discuss how the VA program can serve you. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223 or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Thank you for your service. NMLS 1586-368, Equal Housing Lender.
Pro Paint Days are back at Lowe's. Save $40 on select 5-gallon HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams paint, like Weather Shield, Showcase, or Ceiling Paint. Plus, save $10 on drywall PVA primer and get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Lowe's knows paint. Lowe's knows pros. Offers valid through 6/14. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000. The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
After damning politicians uphill and down Dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
That's how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon. Of course, we're calling this thing online Joey Clark Live. I'm Joey. My trusty co-host Eddie Bader is here, looking all American flagged out.
Oh, it's such a colorful shirt.
What
I
do you
didn't realize how...
with the palm tree? Are you a pansexual now or something?
What?
Because I got some palm trees? No, it's a guy that's
No, it's just
need
it's
to go
all
on vacation.
It is June.
Yeah. We are a month away from, celebration of July 4th. I'm sorry if I'm getting a little
So
excited.
you're really
Some people
into
get
this
excited
thing.
for Christmas. I get excited for
July 4th.
Yeah.
Like, what are your plans?
Actually, we're probably going to have a Mexican July 4th, actually.
Oh, really?
A friend of mine that has a Mexican restaurant, I'm going to have him cook up a bunch of fajita meat and Mexican items. And that way, everybody that comes, we can just eat. You don't have to worry about grilling and all that. We're going to have a good time on the water. That's the plan.
All right, then.
That's the plan. We'll probably go see Boomer T and get some ice cream.
Wait, and your Mexican friends don't mind you being like a big Trump guy?
No. He's a big Trump guy, too. That's why I can't say his name on the radio.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Yeah, there are a lot of people who go, wait, that's a big Trump guy right there? But I want to start with something lighter today than just hopping into the politics.
All right.
Dr. Stuart Tankersley, also calling it at 12:35,
Okay.
excuse me, here in just about 30 minutes. We're going to be talking about the brand new ruling from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals that said, this came out Friday, it says the COVID shots do not qualify as vaccines.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating. And then also Dr. Robert Redfield. You remember him. He was the former director of the CDC.
Oh, yes.
And he was always a little skeptical of this big push. And so we'll be seeing what Redfield and this Ninth Circuit ruling's all about with Stuart Tankersley. But here's how I want to start light.
All right.
I've been, because I'm now living with my grandfather,
Yep.
he's a big sports guy.
Oh, good deal.
Every day he's watching Pardon the Interruption at 4:30. He's got his alarm set.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Then we might watch a little Sports Center. But, of course, the NBA playoffs are going on.
Yeah.
And watch the Mavs and the Celtics last night. Kyrie Irving needs to up his game. Like, maybe it's something about he's former Boston and he's got the yips or something.
Really?
Yeah, he left Boston.
Yeah.
And he had a great first quarter, but he just they
faltered?
Yeah. It's when they score 60, Doncic and Irving score 60, they win.
Okay.
And they only scored 40-something, and Doncic carried his weight. So we'll see. I enjoy watching like high-level play of any sports. Yeah. I'm happy to watch a Yankees-Dodgers game like we were watching last night. Aaron Judge hitting another home run. The man is on fire. Maybe only second to the Colossus of Clout, the great Bambino.
Let's see if he can hold it in there all season.
Right. Well, he started slow, and now he's like...
If he's on fire.
Yeah. So I'm happy to watch like NBA playoffs. I'm happy to watch Major League Baseball. I'm even happy to watch bowling, professional bowling like championships. I'll watch that with my grandfather. Joey. Actually, those guys, it makes me want to rewatch Kingpin. Remember that movie?
Oh, I love that movie.
Actually, the bowling championships, they get the trick shots. It's actually somewhat entertaining to watch. But one thing he asked me, I refused to watch. Well, Caitlin Clark is playing in a WNBA game tonight. I'm like, no. Dude, I don't care if it's Caitlin Clark. I'm not watching the WNBA.
You're falling behind the trends.
I'm not watching the
selling
WNBA.
Out stadiums, high school stadiums now, Joey.
It's not going to be Joey's butt in any of those seats. I'm not watching it at home. I'm not watching it in person. I think Caitlin Clark as a story is fascinating. She's a phenom, but I'm just not watching the WNBA.
What are your thoughts on her not getting picked for the Olympic team, but Grimes getting picked for the Olympic team?
Here's what I think about all that. My grandfather never watches the WNBA. But he said, choice. Hey, Joe, do you want to watch it tonight? Because Caitlin Clark's team's on. Now, of course, I said, no, I'm not watching the WNBA. But he did.
Okay.
And so, like, that's one data point, I know. It's anecdotal. But, okay, here's an 87-year-old man who really is not a WNBA fan who's like, because Caitlin Clark's in the sport, I'm going to watch her.
Yeah.
It's like Tiger Woods with golf.
Exactly, Joey.
All these people became golf fans overnight. And so, yeah, that brings me to, they now say that she's not going to be on the Olympic women's basketball team.
No, we need Brittany Grimes on there, the girl that got, held up in Russia for all those years, for all those months, for breaking the law.
Well, it's a statement.
I got a statement.
We're going to go to Old Paris.
Well, that just shows
which is being taken over by the right wing nationalists over there. We're getting all that. Are we allowed to be German again?
I'm waiting for some white handkerchiefs to start raining down over there.
Or I think Macron calling new elections. He's like, we are French. We do not. We write history. We do not live history.
Aren't they doing like a double election, like one election, then a week later another one? What's up with that?
I think they call it a duh election.
High school friends, Joey.
But more than un, deux, trois.
Yeah.
But before we keep going, I can't do justice to a rant that was placed online about the whole Caitlin Clark thing.
Oh, okay.
Because I think it is one of the dumbest things ever. And I don't understand. It is the story because I don't watch the WNBA, but I'm now close to the sports news because of my grandfather.
Yeah.
And so I'm seeing all these stories about, and on Twitter, like women flagrant fouls. Like she is not welcome there.
No. Not even her own teammates stand up for her. Even
I'm
Charles
like,
Barkley.
what the heck is going on here? But I want to bring in the big guns.
Okay.
Because he put out I think he was like at Belmont Steaks or something. This is Dave Portnoy reacting to this news that Caitlin Clark will not be on the Women's Olympic team. Let's listen in.
All right, I'm at Saratoga Belmont Day, looking spectacular per usual, shoes, bang. But this is about Caitlin Clark being left off the Olympic team. How dumb are these women? How dumb? I don't know who's making the decision, Women's Olympic Committee, whatever it is. I don't care if you don't think Caitlin Clark, talent-wise, belongs on this team, even though she does put up 37 to 13, like the most points in the history of the league for a rookie. None of it matters.
Right.
These women, and I love women. I'm a pro-woman guy, women guy. They complain and they cry about equal rights, equal wages, blah, 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 blah. Hey, dummies. For the first time, like in the history of basketball, you have arguably a player who is the most popular player in the world. Like you could argue right now, Caitlin Clark is the most talked about, discussed, most popular, most puts asses in the seats, single basketball player in the world. You could argue that. Yeah, you could say maybe LeBron, Luka, whatever you want, but you can argue it. And you leave her off the Olympics team, it's not only a showcase for her, it's for the sport and the other WNBA players who are on this team.
Right.
How dumb, how brain dead, how idiotic do the people running this thing have to be? It was one thing after another with her. How I at the business part of my brain is like, these people, and maybe it's a guy who did, whoever it is, I don't ever want to hear you complain about flying commercial or not getting salaries or this, that. You're too dumb. You're too dumb.
Yep.
You have a cash cow. This can bring the Olympic basketball, women's basketball will be like the number one thing people watch with Caitlin Clark. As it is, I'd rather watch grass grow. I'd rather watch paint dry. I'd rather watch dirt just be moved around because Caitlin Clark's not on the team. If she's there, it's appointment TV. You people, whoever did this, honestly, hey, take your brain, put it in a museum, and study it for how dumb you are.
Wow.
All right,
that's an amazing rant.
And this from a guy who so far this year, and I think that's a little outdated, he's won $5.4 million this year in gambling bets.
Who?
Dave Portnoy.
Really?
So far this year.
Holy
I think
crap.
I think he's over 7 right now because
That's
of the
nuts.
Saratoga stuff. Yeah.
That's
Now
nuts.
he'll tell you his claim to fame is he's always done Barstool.
And that's how
all
much
that.
he's up.
Yeah, that's how much he's up for the year. But he will tell you part of his shtick has always been he's a terrible gambler. He's lost most of his whole life, so he's like, this is new territory.
No,
I've
but
won
he's
this much.
he's 100%
right.
correct on this
100%
one.
right. But I guarantee you, I hate saying it that way, but I do almost guarantee you she'll get on the team for it.
We'll see. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Red Top.
Hey, Red Top.
Great discussion because I never watched WNBA, just a little bit, but the step of play, the level of play, and it's not only Caitlin Clark. There's a whole new generation of girls that has come in this year.
Very aggressive.
That has changed the nature of the game. Most of them are white too, and so that's a shame because now the WNBA. It looks like the NBA used to look 20 years ago. Not that they're not as good, but they really run at about half the pace. NBA's going so fast now, it's scary. You got
the NBA, the finals have been that game last night was amazing. I thought as a game.
These people are superhuman, Joey. How to keep up the damn pace to keep running that much? Golly Moses! So WNBA is kind of nice because you can see the plays develop and all that. That the NBA's got so fast that with Damon can't hardly see nothing. It's going so fast.
See, I like that high level pro, I like the NFL too, for that same reason.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So they're raising hell, but I'm sorry they're fighting a losing battle because it's all about how good you are. Now, Joey, talk about something really good and gorgeous. You got to see this red-headed woman that has now won 8 days of Jeopardy. She's got red hair. She's the ginger. She is gorgeous, and she's one of the smartest damn people I've ever seen in my life. She's so smart, and she's an archivist, so she knows about everything. And what's his name? Ken Jennings after goes well. Her name's Adriana. She's from Indiana. So German-Irish, she's just damn gorgeous.
Ed, do you think Red Top's got a crush?
Oh, my gosh, you got to watch her. Joey, talk about hourglass figure.
Goodness
this
gracious.
is a gorgeous woman.
Okay.
And she's smart. I like smart women, don't you?
Sure.
That's why I like T-Spear. T-Spear, a degree in organic chemistry, that's the kind of damn woman I want to meet. But anyway, what's his name? Ken Jennings asked her how she does it. She says, Ken, I hit the button first, and I have the right answer. She made Ken Jennings look like a dum-dum with that answer. So it's kind of elementary, Ken, but she's good. And the trans man did lose the super championship, which I was kind of tired of him anyway. I ain't gonna call none of these damn women men.
All right.
Roll Tide, no Trump. Thank you.
Red Top has put his foot down. Doesn't sound like he's got a big old crush.
Trying to look her up.
It's like, hey, man, why are you watching Jeopardy with your pants off?
Because it's hot outside.
Yeah, that's
and my
true.
AC's out.
Honestly, as soon as I get home, I take my pants off.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I'm not trying to keep up appearances.
No.
It's
There's no need
too hot outside. Like the humidity levels.
Yes, we've entered the miserable zone of summer. It is here.
Goodness gracious. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And there at Pest Pro Services, Ashley and that fantastic team are ready to help you. And 'tis the season with it getting hot, hot, hot. That means, well, you've got all sorts of critters that have come alive, all sorts of insects and other problems that could sneak into your home or damage your home even, especially like termites. So whether you're looking for something like a termite treatment or inspection, or maybe you're looking to get that yard treated for mosquitoes, or you're just looking for an everyday pest control company that you can trust to take care of your property, that is Pest Pro Services. And of course, they're local folks, always giving back, and they've been growing leaps and bounds, and that's because of how good they are. They've been growing because of that word of mouth coming from happy customers all over the river region. So call up Pest Pro Services today. That's 265-9990, 265-9990, or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that team that, well, Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. And 334-272-9228. If you want to hop in on the program.
If you get a cough, please leave the room.
I'm fine till I get here.
Yeah, like, what is it with this room?
Well, today it's a little bit warm and
muggy in here?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it is. It is muggy outside.
Yeah, it is. Dude, it is.
It's like how you end up with swamp ass.
But I tell you what, yesterday, we were on the boat. It's hot. It's like 99 degrees, what it felt like.
Mm-hmm.
But Lake Jordan is still nice and cool. It was
Oh,
great.
nice.
I mean, to the point where I jumped in at one point. I hit one of those cold pockets that take your breath away. But it was nice, so I sat there a minute.
And before I play this next clip, I saw a thing on the Book of Faces. You brought it to my attention. Did you try to sell your son one of your listings on Lake Jordan?
Oh, well.
That look he gives you that you captured is amazing. It says so many things in just a look.
I've seen that look before on another time, too, where he... but, well, the plan was, Joey, we have a great lake listing on there, and my son is really coming up in the world. He's got a family now. And
he's doing great.
And it's right across the lake from me, and I thought, what a great opportunity to show them, because I think they might be in the market. They want hopeful schools. So I kind of brought him over there, and it took him probably 10 seconds to figure it out. Because the next picture was his wife loving it.
And him just glaring.
Yeah,
at
him
you.
kind of give me the look. And so I put it on Facebook because it is hysterical. But funny enough, I've had lenders and all these other people reach out to me. Tell him, don't forget me. Tell him. But it was great. We had a great time with the family yesterday up on the lake. We took them to the Airbnb. We hung out on the water. We put that, we got one of these big floating pads. And the kids, the twins, the grandkids, they're only 3. They've yet to really embrace the lake life. They like their pool, but not so much lake. Well, we got them on that pad yesterday. They went from the pad to in the water, and they loved it. It was one of the best days as a grandparent I've had yet.
That's awesome.
It was some kind of great. That's why I'm so sunburnt. But it was a great day.
You don't look sunburnt.
I feel it.
Oh, okay.
I feel it.
So you were saying that there are all these shark attacks happening?
Dude, over the weekend down at the Gulf, 3 of them that I know of. One of which I want to say, and I hope I'm...
Like in shallow waters?
Waist deep.
Woo!
Waist deep, yeah. Some Alabama people were affected by them. So,
This is why I just don't go to the beach.
Well...
Like, I'll go to the coast and eat great food
Yeah.
and see people I love, but I don't need to go on the beach.
I'm a beach guy, and I've always have been, but maybe it's the 24-hour news cycle, but these things seem to be happening a lot more than often. And I'll notice this from deep sea fishing. Used to, when we go deep sea fishing, you'd hook into a fish, you fought the fish, and you got him on the boat.
Right.
Now they will tell you hurry up and reel in because you got to get past the sharks. And this is a real deal where a lot of times that shark will see that fish struggling in the water. You don't get to you bring up the head. So maybe we got more sharks now than before. Maybe I don't know, but I know this: we got bull sharks, and bull sharks are very aggressive. There's even a video of 2 guys on a jet ski out in Panama City. I don't know if it's this weekend or the last weekend. Bull shark was attacking the jet ski.
Goodness gracious, that's audacious.
Yeah, and they're laughing. Now,
it's an audacious, aggressive shark,
right?
And bull sharks will hurt you.
Yeah, bull sharks
kill you.
They'll come in fresh water. Yeah, they'd like to take multiple chunks out of it.
The more you talk, I'm starting to think that when Ernest Hemingway wrote The Old Man in the Sea, he was prefiguring your existence.
Come on, go scuba diving with me.
But I bring this up because I have a clip that I think we might continue to do more of this. Okay. Trump out of context.
Oh.
Because he gives these long rambling rally speeches.
Okay.
And occasionally you'll get like a minute, 2 minutes that's just out of context, but it is perfect. It could go to any comedy store. Like, it is perfect.
Okay.
And here's what I mean. This was Trump in Las Vegas this weekend.
So I said, let me ask you a question. And he said, nobody ever asked this question. And it must be because of MIT, my relationship to MIT.
Keep going.
Very smart. He goes, I say, what would happen if the boat sank from its weight and you're in the boat and you have this tremendously powerful battery and the battery's now underwater and there's a shark that's approximately 10 yards over there. By the way, a lot of shark attacks lately. Do you notice that? A lot of shark. I watched some guys justifying it today. Well, they weren't really that angry. They bit off the young lady's leg because of the fact that they were not hungry, but they misunderstood who she was. These people are crazy. He said there's no problem with sharks. They just didn't really understand a young woman swimming now really got decimated, and other people too. A lot of shark attacks. So I said, so there's a shark 10 yards away from the boat, 10 yards. Or here, do I get electrocuted? If the boat is sinking, water goes over the battery, the boat is sinking. Do I stay on top of the boat and get electrocuted? Or do I jump over by the shark and not get electrocuted? Because I will tell you, he didn't know the answer. He said, nobody's ever asked me that question.
I bet.
I said, I think it's a good question. I think there's a lot of electric current coming through that water. But you know what I'd do if there was a shark? Or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near the shark.
Trump out of context. Goodness gracious. No, but I think he's right. I'd rather be electrocuted than eaten by an animal.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you ever been electrocuted, though? I mean,
not badly.
Yeah.
Like, I think I've had a little shock, but not, like, truly electrocuted.
I don't know if you'd rather go the other way or not.
Especially
Especially if it's a low volt. Yeah, I've been shocked quite often, and yeah, it's not pleasurable.
So you would rather be eaten by a creature?
I'll go quicker.
I don't know if it'll be quick, man.
Well, the first
I think it might be your leg gets ripped off and then you drown as he's chewing on you.
Well, I start leaning into it. Hit the throat. The good meat's up here in the throat, man. No, I don't know. Electrocution, I've had, just very minor electrical shocks before, but pretty good ones. One time we were on Lake Jordan and the lake got hit. We were in the water. We felt that. And I just can't imagine.
Right.
Let's get a taser and put this to the test.
Right, yeah.
Because I've tased before.
I don't want to do that either.
Yeah, you'll probably pee a little bit. be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. Something like that.
It's
I had this weird memory just came back. I think it was like 8th grade, and we went to one of the camp, not a camp around here, one like Camp Chandler. It was a little further north, and it was one of those outdoor gyms with the huge awning and the huge pillars and stuff. And there was a lot of lightning in the air, and we're stuck under the awning, and all these guys we had groups with parental chaperones. Mm-hmm. And all these guys in my group were like, stick your tongue on the thing, man. Oh. Yeah, and one of the dads, I think Paul, he goes, yeah, Joey, just stick your tongue on it. Then take your wiener out, stick that on it too. It's like all these dummies, like, oh, here, let's play with electricity. But, not Trump.
So I said, let me ask you a question. And he said, nobody ever asked this question. And it must be because of MIT, my relationship to MIT.
Oh, it's going to be a fun November, as much as it will be infuriating. And I maintain, as much as folks are like, oh, it's the downfall of the nation, is civil war possible? I'm like, look at America right now. It's hilarious.
It's pretty crazy.
Our downfall is going to be hysterically funny. Anybody?
That's like saying our divorce is going to be funny. Not looking forward to it.
Some divorces are funny.
Right, but that don't mean you look forward to it happening.
By the way, you're mentioning a thing to me off air, but I don't think we have enough time to really bring up this topic. But it's like a surefire sign.
Oh, yeah.
That a divorce is going to happen.
100%. I think that should be a good show. Honestly, we should have a dude show like that.
Well, I'll just say it. If a guy buys his wife fake boobs,
the marriage doesn't last.
It does not last.
I've done an extensive personal study of me and my own group of friends for the past 20-something years. Mm-hmm. I had one friend that they were the ones, but it didn't last.
The augmented tatas will last forever, even in a landfill. But it's like, the half-life on the relationship gets all sort of shortened.
Big time.
It's a real thing.
And I'll be very honest. I've talked to and literally 30, 35 people in my life. And one guy I kept saying, well, he's the odd. He's the one that won, him and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
About a year and a half ago, he called me. 30-something years married.
So, we don't have time to get into all this, but I'm wondering, what's the logic here? What's the reason? We're seeing this correlation. We're seeing this phenomenon of if you get a boob job for your wife, you will not be married to her eventually.
Can we say the real sad part out loud?
Okay.
A lot of them guys borrowed money from their 401k to pay for that surgery. Then somebody else gets to play with the boobies while they're still making the payments.
Shut up, silly woman.
This part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. And there at River Region Contracting, Todd Clark and his great team are ready to help you with, all your roofing needs. Could be you have an asphalt or metal roof. You should get it inspected every few years. But Eddie and I have been recommending, imagine the heat and humidity right now, folks.
Right now.
And then all the storms rolling through. There's a lot Alabama weather throws at your roof. So why not get it checked every year? Make it an annual checkup. And here's the beautiful thing. At River Region Contracting, their inspections and estimates are free. Always free. And they're a team of insurance specialists, so they can walk you through the claims process if you find a problem that your insurance might cover. Then make it a swift and easy process.
Very easy.
Just not normally something you associate with a claim.
Of course not. Why would you?
Process, because the insurance company's not in the business wanting to give out money unless they kind of have to, and it's part of the contract.
You notice that, huh?
And you do want to get those, say, annual inspections, because if you let a problem fester for years, that insurance company's going to come back and what are they going to say? You were negligent.
Yep.
So get on top of it. Call up Todd Clark and his team at River Region Contracting today. There's good reason people are calling him the premier roofing contractor here in the area. That number, 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group. Selling a home in the River region in this market takes some planning and preparation to be successful. Here are some steps to take to get your home sold fast. Remember the 5 P's. Prepare the home, fresh coat of paint inside and out, and complete any repairs needed. Professionally clean the home. A deep cleaning of floors, cabinets, windows, and blinds will leave a great impression for future buyers. Provide a home warranty for the buyer to give the buyer peace of mind after the closing. Provide a closing cost allowance for the buyer to help them be able to afford your home. Price your home to sell, not sit. A comparative market analysis from a local realtor will demonstrate what other properties have sold for in your neighborhood. Well-priced homes sell faster with less hassle. Houses are selling fast and sellers are getting top dollar. For all the answers, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Pretty typical June forecast here. Hot day today. High temperature up around 90. The dew points are high. That means rather humid. We'll call for a sun and cloud mix with the risk of some random hit or miss storms, mainly in the afternoon and evening hours. Tonight's low 66. Tuesday's high near 90. Wednesday, a little hotter, low to mid 90s. Good bit of sunshine both days. And I've got the rain chances fairly low Tuesday and Wednesday at 20% or less. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Do you have big plans this summer? Dive into summer with an ASE Credit Union vacation loan. Whether you've got a trip coming up, projects at home, or just need a little extra cash, we've got you covered. So don't put your plans on hold. Visit yourasecu.com or stop by and see us today.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
You know, they used to say Abraham Lincoln got the worst press. I said, there's no way he got worse than me.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. And especially that press that President Trump got during the COVID era. Though, I think he does have a little bit of responsibility for pushing the jab.
Sure.
And actually, let's talk about the jab, the vaccine. Well, actually, don't call it that. We have the one, the only Dr. Stuart Tankersley. How are you, sir? How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I hope you all had a good weekend.
I really did. Enjoyed watching the NBA Finals and Major League Baseball and refusing to watch the WNBA with my grandfather. I don't know why. It's like, I know you're my elder and I need to respect you, but I'm losing it. I'm losing it.
For good reason.
So... tell us about this big ruling by the Ninth Circuit that came out on Friday having to do with the jab.
Yeah, this is huge. Number one, we talk about it at length on our podcast this week, Dr. Jordan Vaughn and I. The Ninth Circuit on Friday came out with a ruling that the shots do not qualify as vaccines, which they never did.
Right.
They are technically considered experimental, biologically active genetic agents. And as a result of that, they don't fall under the protection that was given in 1905 to a major legal case, Jacobson. But anyways, these do not have the protections that a vaccine would have. And that is major because hopefully we can get these things withdrawn, and whoever had anything to do with making them and producing them can be found guilty for what they've done to us.
Yes.
So it was, of course, pushed as it is a vaccine. This will prevent it. It'll prevent you from transmitting it. All this stuff was just not true. And did they know it was not true?
Of course they knew it was not true. And in fact, there are emails, we've seen emails that tell them that they talk about where they're going to call it a vaccine for marketing purposes so people will buy into them.
And I worry about the folks who, well, not only got the first dose, but who ended up doing all these boosters down the road. It seems like this is a mass experiment that's been done all over the world.
It's the greatest experiment on humans in history, by far. Nothing ever approaching anything like this. 5 billion experimental, biologically active, genetic changing or genetic altering agents have been given. And anybody that has gotten these things really needs to strongly consider detoxing from them. And that's on the flccc.net website. But these things have, the most important metric for any public health entity should be the number of deaths. And the British Medical Journal, one of the world's preeminent journals, supposedly, last week or a couple of weeks ago, came out with an article about all these excess deaths in the developed world that are consistent with the countries that had mass uptake of these things.
And so what's the underlying reason here? What's going on in particular with the spike protein that's in these shots?
Okay, so real quick, on the flu virus that has 18 proteins, none of those are toxic by themselves. On the SARS-2 virus that causes COVID, there are 29 proteins. Only one of those is toxic by itself. That's the spike protein. So please explain to me how it makes any sense that we would give somebody a shot that forces every organ in their body to produce, for an indeterminate amount of time, a known toxin. And this thing is horrible. What it does to the tissues in causing inflammation, it does so many horrible things, whether it's the brain or the heart or the vascular system or triggering cancers. That's a big, big problem that we're starting to see now. Yeah, but all of these things are well proven.
Right. And I was wondering, how are these excess deaths coded? Like, what is causing the excess deaths? Is it that list you just gave there?
Heart attacks, strokes, pulmonary emboli, cancers, of course, now. But it's every organ system is potentially negatively affected.
And, this isn't just folks who are on the outside criticizing the COVID regime. One of the guys who was the head of the CDC, the director, Robert Redfield, has been, I remember even years ago he was outspoken, but he's becoming even more so lately.
Yeah, last week he was on an interview with Chris Cuomo, and he said some astounding things. The scales are falling off his eyes. He even said he would not encourage these messenger RNA vaccines anymore. Which, a year ago in several states, they would have sought to take his license for his statements that he made last week. And there were several that he made, and I'll just read a few of them. He, of course, validated that these don't prevent infections, which is obvious. The CDC stopped counting who got COVID and their vaccinations status because they didn't want to know how ineffective the shots were. This is the former CDC director, Robert Redfield. This guy knows what he's talking about, and finally he's coming to the understanding how bad these things are.
Yeah, and it's amazing. What did you make of what I mean amazing is how just audacious, the chutzpah on this guy. What did you make of the Dr. Fauci hearing in front of Congress recently?
Well, the guys, as of January of 22, he had lied 3 times in his Senate testimony. So the guy is a perpetual liar from the beginning. And I thought that the Dr. McCormick, who gave his 5 minutes in the hearing, did a great job in summarizing that Fauci was for fear and control. Another couple of things that Redfield said is no one should have said that it was a pandemic of the unvaccinated. And the spike, he admitted, this is the most important thing I think he said, the spike protein is toxic, and they didn't design it well because if you get the vaccine, they don't know for how long and how much your body produces of that toxin. These are major statements that we've been screaming about for 3 or 4 years now, and it's insane that we're stuck in this, and Fauci gets a pass by the media. It's absolutely absurd. But these things are horrific.
It really is horrific, and it seems also when I look at that Fauci hearing that this story, again, folks, goes back years. One big part of it is the fight over gain-of-function research, and there were a lot of doctors who essentially won the argument, saying this stuff's too dangerous, let's not do it here, and it seems, and this is what Fauci was hanging his hat on, that, well, we've that's not in the regulations, the bureaucratic regulations, it's not how we define gain-of-function.
Right. Yeah, they changed the definition right before the pandemic hit us. You know, remember, this is an important point in all this. This SARS-2 virus has an infectious fatality rate for people under the age of 60 of 0.003%. This is not, people did die from it. I'm not at all saying that people didn't die from it, nor that it is dangerous potentially. But the fact is, like Dr. Peter McCullough says, he estimates that 120,000 people died from SARS-2, from COVID, in the first 2 years. This is not the 800,000 that has been reported in the media.
Now, with all these facts coming out, in many ways vindications of a lot of different folks who stuck their neck out in the midst of the pandemic, has the infrastructure that created the lockdowns, that started threatening doctor licensing, like all the means of control, is that all still in place?
Well, sure, there are people still being sanctioned for it. None other than Peter McCullough himself and Pierre Corey and many doctors around the country. It's absurd.
What a shame. And it's just, it shows the rot at the heart of our system. And I worry that there are a lot of awful people who learned a lot of valuable information when they locked down this country and how to scare Americans into giving up their liberties, their rights, their livelihoods.
Right. They sure did. And they were successful at it. And now they're threatening us with Disease X, which Dr. Peter McCullough has wonderful research on in the last month. And it is H5N1 flu, the new bird flu variant that looks like gain of function was performed at the University of Georgia in Athens. And that's where it's coming from. And unfortunately, it's spread through ducks, and ducks have huge migratory patterns throughout the world. And so, but once again, the thing to do for this is the classic things we've been advocating for from the beginning, like nasal saline rinse and gargling and taking the right supplements and things like that. But it's all about control, like you talked about. It is complete takeover of humanity. And of course, the WHO last week voted, they finally lost, but they're going to keep coming back trying to take more and more control. But this thing that Redfield said, and that hearing and the ruling from the Ninth Circuit it's the end of their. They're getting exposed now. Now, what are we going to do about it?
Yeah, and it's also a good reminder going through this that health and keeping up one's health, it shouldn't be you wait till an emergency and all of a sudden you want the doctor to pull off, a miracle. I'd imagine
Right.
a lot of this, it should be, what you eat, like all the supplements you're talking about. It's a maintenance thing, not like give me absolution, doc, sort of thing.
Right, and of course, there's a wonderful website that every doctor in the country should know about by now called C19study.com. And it's been evaluating and updated daily over 40 agents that have been used around the world and studied around the world to treat SARS-2 and COVID. And it is clear that remdesivir, nicknamed Run Death is Near, is awful for people. And that's what was the only protocol drug that was approved by Fauci et al. In the hospitalized treatment of patients. And of course, Gilead, the company that makes it, UAB, has been one of the major centers for studying it. But ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and other things have wonderful benefits in treating it. There are over 30 known mechanisms of action, for example, that ivermectin has against the virus, the inflammation it causes, and the blood clotting that it causes. We know how to treat these things. And what they have done in scaring our culture and our the West, or the world really, is just horrific, and all of these people need to be held to account for what they've done.
Well, I always appreciate your time on these airwaves, and let's do it again soon, sir.
Let me add one other point, and that is the budget for the city. If we have 220 fewer police officers than are budgeted for, where is that extra money going?
Fantastic question. And then if you have all that extra money, why are you asking for $6 million more to so-called solve the problem?
Right.
Yeah, that's a whole other, maybe one of these days very soon, love to have you in studio, just talk about the state of our dear city here.
Be great.
Yeah, it's a great city, but we got some problems, and it starts with the mayor, I think.
Indeed. Well, I appreciate it. Again, folks, this is Dr. Stuart Tankersley, and
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, really great having him on, as always. And he's not messing around anymore. Like, he had his own realizations in the midst of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think he was on the vaccine advisory board, and he started to realize, wait, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do it. Like, very quickly he realized something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
My big thing was when they were just push, and to the point of they were even saying we won't let the people that not getting the vaccine participate in normal things that normal people do.
Yeah.
And honestly, I hate admitting it, but I'm old man. I'm a rebel.
No, yeah.
You tell me to do something.
You were not interested from the get-go.
Yeah. But that being said, I mean, military brat, and we toured all over the world. They hit us every time we would go somewhere. We had a new vaccine or a new thing we had to take. So I didn't have necessarily doubt in it, that part of it. I just more had like, no, I didn't think of it being poison and all that either. And I just like, don't think we need it. I need it, but I do still think about the people that, especially the ones that passed away, they got COVID, especially a lot of them that said they didn't need the vaccine, and then they ended up passing away from COVID. And a lot of them's last words were regret not getting the vaccine. I don't know. At this point in time, I personally don't feel like they made a mistake. I can't promise that vaccine would have helped them. I haven't seen any kind of proof of that.
Well, the story's going to continue.
Yeah.
It's just a shame it's taken this many years
I agree.
for a lot
That's
of this stuff to come out.
Another bothersome thing.
272-9228. If you want to hop in on the program, we got to hit a quick break. But first, this part of the program brought to you by All Pro Heating, Air, and Electrical.
That's right.
Brand new sponsor here on the program. Of course, they're located in Tallahassee, Alabama, but they're ready to serve the entire river region and surrounding area.
And I can tell you what, Joey, this weekend, air conditioners were on and running, and a lot of people probably had some issues with the AC this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And,
you start running it hardcore. Like you usually say, you set it at 72,
Yeah.
like when it's not hot.
Right.
You're like, oh, it's fine. Oh, no, that thing's going to be running all day if you set it in 72 in this weather.
Yeah.
All night.
Yeah. And a lot of them are overworked. At this time of year is when you find out you've got issues. You got low on Freon, or you might have a capacitor or a contactor that might go out. So these guys can come out and get you air-cooled quickly, Joey.
So all your HVAC and electrical needs, you need to go with All Pro Heating, Air, and Electrical. And, you know, storms rolling through, they can also help you out with, say, a Generac generator.
That's right.
These top-of-the-line generators, I think they look good. Like, maybe that's the man in me. I'm like, look at this piece of equipment right here.
It says security. When I pull up on a house, especially that one that has that Generac generator, I let the clients know immediately, you've got backup power. So in Alabama, we get all these crazy storms on the regular. So if you have any medical equipment that's just dependent on power all the time, why not have a Generac backup generator?
So that number for All Pro Heating, Air, and Electrical, 301-1961. Or you can always go to allproheatingair.com. That's allproheatingair, one word.com. And again, that number, 301-1961. And be sure to tell the great folks there at All Pro Heating, Air, and Electrical that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man. Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Hi, this is Carol Kennedy with Camo Country, and we've been advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting for many years, and we appreciate Blue Water Broadcasting helping promote Camo Country.
Radio reaches over 90% of everyone in the river region. Shouldn't your ads be out there where your customers are? Call us to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Jackson are back to turn your musical guesses into gold.
100,000
Fox tonight. It's the new season of. Then
I'm Pat Oswalt, and it's time to play the 1% Club.
Don't miss a new kind of quiz show that tests how your brain stacks up against America.
Only 15% of the country got this right. None of them were my relative.
The 1% Club. Tonight on Fox 20.
The premier place the river region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon. Or if you're watching online, Joey Clark Live. You can always watch on the Twitter X platform or on YouTube.
Now, if I'm watching on the Twitter, can I do the comment things on there as well?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. Cool.
Absolutely. So we don't have a lot of time in this segment.
All right.
Again, thank you to Dr. Stuart Tankersley. So let's go to a little fella called Elon Musk.
Ah.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah. He posted this today with this video. But this was right before we went on the show.
All right.
Elon Musk posted, "My dream is to reach Uranus."
Oh.
We definitely want a rocket to reach Uranus. That's it's a stretch goal to reach Uranus, but definitely something we think we should aim for.
I love Elon.
there's some fireworks videos out there that's already been accomplished.
He's got just the right amount of tism where he has got the sense of humor of a child. And one that I have and you have, and I think most grown men still have this sense of humor.
Men have this.
Yeah, and don't call it, Uranus, like the sky god Uranus mated with Gaia and created, give me a break. It's not Greek mythology. It's Uranus.
Right.
So Elon Musk is really reaching for the stars here.
Yeah,
and
Joey, what about all the starving people out there? Why isn't he using his money to help the starving people?
I think what he's doing does help the poor and the starving.
Gets the starving
I wonder how many kids who really have nothing, like imagine kids all over the world, and yet they are able to see what they're trying to accomplish. Because when you look at that staff, it's people from all over the world working on SpaceX.
Not only that, just imagine being a kid, you look up one night and you see the Starlink capture through. That right there would have blown my mind as a kid. What is that?
Like we all talk about, good housing and we don't want food deserts and we want good education and a well-lighted, clean place, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't do anything for the soul. And I think often the problem we have these days is a problem of soul.
Yeah.
Not a problem of our material needs being met.
Definitely dull the soul, no doubt.
And inspirations like what this guy's able to do, while also having a great sense of humor.
We definitely want a rocket to reach Uranus. That's
it's
a stretch goal.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to go around?
I don't know.
Just curious.
But to become a spacefaring species, I think is a heck of an inspirational goal. And I think it'll help us solve a lot of our other problems that have always bedeviled us as the human race. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
I'm John Scott. Secretary of State Blinken returning to the Middle East as a proposed Hamas-Israel ceasefire deal hangs in the balance following the dramatic rescue of 4 Israeli hostages in Gaza, with no firm response yet from Hamas to the proposal they received 10 days ago. Blinken has started his 8th urgent diplomatic mission to the region. A prosecutor told jurors that no one is above the law, and he urged them to convict President Biden's son Hunter on charges that he lied about his drug use when he bought a gun back in 2018. Closing arguments are underway. The Boston Celtics beating the Dallas Mavericks 105-98 on Sunday night to take a 2-0 lead in the NBA Finals. On Wall Street, the Dow losing 33 points, but the Nasdaq is ahead 28. This is SRN News.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented $1 trillion every 90 days. Think of that. It's a clear sign that our nation's finances are spinning out of control, and it's putting the savings of every one of you at risk. Hello, I'm Lance Wallnow, a news analyst and best-selling author and an evangelical leader. I'm deeply concerned about the impact this runaway debt is going to have on Christians like you who have worked hard to build your own nest egg for your family. To protect your financial future in these uncertain times, you need to diversify with something tangible and proven, like physical gold. That's why I recommend a gold IRA. To learn more, text FAITH to the number 989898, and my friends at Birch Gold Group will rush you a free info kit on how to move your IRA or 401k to physical precious metals, tax and penalty free. So don't wait. Just text the word FAITH to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold Group is the only company I trust. There's no obligation. So text FAITH to 989898, and I pray this information helps you achieve prosperity and peace of mind.
The Johnny Adams Law Firm. They want you to stay safe on the road. Please don't text and drive. Get to your destination safely. Your family and friends will thank you. From the Johnny Adams Law Firm.
Well, hi, everybody. Pretty typical June forecast here. Hot day today. High temperature up around 90. The dew points are high. That means rather humid. We'll call for a sun and cloud mix with the risk of some random hit or miss storms, mainly in the afternoon and evening hours. Tonight's low 66. Tuesday's high near 90. Wednesday, a little hotter, low to mid-90s. Good bit of sunshine both days. I've got the rain chances fairly low Tuesday and Wednesday at 20% or less. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Whether you're buying a home or auto or consolidating debt, CB&S Bank's personal loans get you where you need to go. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you or apply online today. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. A power outage was created in Eclectic Saturday in order to rescue a child. A vehicle veered off Kalijah Road and struck two power poles, leaving a small child trapped in the car draped with live power lines. Alabama Power deactivated power for about 150 buildings in the area while the child was freed from the car. 2 Alabama girls are among those injured by shark attacks in Walton County, Florida over the weekend. Mountain Brook teenagers Lulu Gribben and McCrae Faust were critically injured in the attack near Seacrest Beach. Authorities say the girls were just inside the first sandbar in waist-deep water. Kia America is recalling over 460,000 Telluride SUVs and urging owners to park their cars outside and away from other structures until a fire hazard issue is fixed. The front power seat motor on the 2020 through 2024 Tellurides may overheat, potentially resulting in a fire while the car is parked or being driven. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Sunday, July 21st, 6:30 p.m. at the Montgomery Performing Arts Center, it's Wayne Newton live. Mr. Las Vegas himself, Wayne Newton, takes the Impact stage for one night only, Sunday night, July 21st. Wayne Newton, up close and personal at the Montgomery Performing Arts Center, July 21st at 6:30 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at the Impact box office or online at Ticketmaster.com.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Hey, man, I don't mean to be telling tales out of school, but there's a fella in there who'll pay you $10 if you sing into his can. I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker. They broadcast me out on the radio.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to the program. Second hour here on a muggy Monday here in the heart of Dixie. We still allowed to call it that, the heart of Dixie?
I think we got another year or two left on it. That's about it. But
I mean, it is.
It is Heart of Dixie.
Yeah.
Can't sing a lot of the songs anymore, but whatever.
What do you mean? What song?
Way Down Yonder. Land of Cotton.
I don't know these ones.
Really?
Mm-mm.
For real?
Yeah. Well, half my family are Yankees, Pollocks from New Jersey. So
I think I heard it all literally from like young guy watching Disney World stuff, the cartoons.
Oh, okay.
Bear Rabbit, Bear Fox, Bear whatever. Yeah, that's what I remember.
Anyway, welcome into the second hour. All sorts of stuff to get to, but first let's go to the phones and talk to James. Hey, James.
Oh, I wish I was in a land of cotton, way down south. It'd say it's really something like rotten. Look away, look away, Dixieland.
Yeah.
My bad.
No, good.
No,
Joey, your last segment with Dr. Tankersley, that should be mandatory listening for everyone, those who did not get duped and those who did. What do you think?
I agree.
Yeah, 100%.
That's why we have him on.
I mean, that was tremendous radio, brother. Let me tell you, if someone, say like myself, were to be interested in attempting to enlighten others, those who, well, would or would not like to be enlightened. Do you have a podcast? I mean, how can I best do that? Or
you can go to Joey Clark Live on YouTube and just share that part of the show with them.
There you go.
Joey Clark Live.
Yep.
On YouTube.
That's the name of the channel, and today's show is just another Muggy Monday in the heart of Dixie.
It is Muggy.
Are you serious or
No?
Yeah.
That's it.
What?
I'm looking at it right now.
That's what should I type in my search engine, Joey?
Joey Clark Live.
Joey Clark Live. And then you'll have the whole library come up.
Okay, and so if we're looking for today's date, at what time?
At the same times, 12:30, 12:35.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, so 30, 40 minutes into the show. And it's still live, ongoing. You can see the live video as we're talking now. You can even watch back and listen to yourself, James.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not what I'm concerned about. I would like to. There's members of my family and some other people that are so sure that they were correct some 3 or 4 years ago, and I can understand that they were being influenced by quote unquote influencers, and they weren't really paying attention. And as a result, they go and get the jab or stab, as I like to refer to it. But you know, Joey, there were those of us out here that were trying to warn others, wouldn't pay us any attention.
Yeah, it was a weird time. It warped time in itself. It almost seemed like, and I'm not sitting here today saying I was some like champion of liberty and I was wise to all their schemes. And I think I was scared as much as the next guy, but
people were living in fear, Joey.
Yep, exactly.
And when that's what people are doing, you can't rationalize with them because there is no rationalization or no logic with those that are in fear. If you ever seen a movie where somebody's on the edge and they're about to jump off, well, you can't talk them back because they're scared, but they've decided they don't want to jump anymore.
Right. Well, and my fear, I'll admit, was twofold. The only real fear I had of the disease itself was I was worried about my grandfather. And
that's reasonable.
And I think that was reasonable. But as far as me personally, I wasn't scared of getting the thing or whatever.
No, you're looking
it was more, though, I realized about myself, I am still too sensitive to social sanction. At least at that time I was. To where I was like, what do people think if you don't wear the mask and and it's just like, I'm a very much a person that likes to please people. I'm not as disagreeable as I probably should be with this job. And, well, you grow. A man grows.
Sure.
Well, the key here is we're not given a spirit of fear.
Amen.
There you go, brother. Okay. So if I'm to look at this later or try to direct somebody else to it, it's Joey Clark Live with today's date, and they should be able to find it.
Yep.
Merci beaucoup.
See you, homie.
You're welcome. 272-9228. Again, that's 334-272-9228. Looks like the Chinese don't want Bitcoin.
Oh?
Yeah. Well, at least one commentator on Chinese TV. And this was brought to my attention by the great Peter St. Onge, who we'll play in a second. His video today is fantastic. But Peter said, we must be right over the target when it comes to Bitcoin. Because this is Chinese TV, but they're talking in English.
Okay.
And it's a short clip. Let's just listen in together.
Well, if Bitcoin will become the ultimate type of a form of the currency been adopted by human society, I can tell exactly what's going to happen as the worst scenario or the must scenario. We're all going to die.
If Bitcoin becomes the ultimate currency for humans, we're all going to die.
Joey, just so you know this, whether that happens or not, we all have an expiration date.
The must scenario. We're all going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Whether we go to Bitcoin or not, Joey.
Right. But I think having a guy on there who's, all suited and booted and speaking the kings.
How many people you think are behind that?
Oh, the Chinese government had to ban it because it was the biggest place where Bitcoin mining and stuff was going on was China.
Is that right?
And how they banned it is you can't technically ban the network itself. People can find ways around stuff. But they banned any of their major banks allowing
kind of
transactions into Bitcoin.
Is that right?
Yeah, no banks could deal with any sort of Bitcoin transaction.
Why would you mine it? Why would you?
You could not facilitate.
Yeah, why would you do it?
That
nobody's going to do nothing.
And that's what people are worried about here in the U.S., myself included. Well, it seems we have hit a new day.
Yeah.
To where all the big players have jumped on. So we'll see where it goes. 272-9228. You're on there. Who's this?
Oh, Crawdad.
Hey, Crawdad.
Hey, Crawdad.
Good afternoon. Yes, the ultimate of fiat currency ever made. Come on. You know, I wanted to comment on something before I forget. I was listening to the radio yesterday. It was your interview with the gentleman, and I always get the name.
Mises Institute?
Thank you so much. Yes, out at Auburn.
Yeah, it's in Auburn.
Very compelling. Very compelling. I enjoyed that. I hope that plays again so other people can hear it. The names I'll have to read to remember, but it was had my interest very much, and I really enjoyed that show enough to make me remember and looking up about the as you said, the Austrian system of economics, but the morons right now are following the other one, the bad guy idea, and our government following some other pattern. It's like we're in trouble. But what you guys were talking about, name off one name quickly about that here in America, and was a writer, and his books notated. They're in the library at Auburn. The name of the
Ludwig von Mises.
Right, he wrote, and then other people here at Auburn reading the book and notating. And
Murray Rothbard, yeah.
That name, please, Rothbard. How was that? R-O-T-H?
B-A-R-D.
Bard, Rothbard. Okay, now that I can look up. Very good. Excellent show, Joey. And you've always done really good. So God bless you.
Thank you, Crawdad. Appreciate you.
Yes, bye-bye.
See you, Crawdaddy.
Yeah, and the Austrian school is, it's still not the dominant economic point of view in this world.
Yeah.
But they are growing in not only popularity online, but I think they are also being shown correct in a lot of what they've been saying over the years. So we'll see where it all goes. The problem with economics is you can't have a controlled experiment.
Right.
Talking about incredibly complex systems that even if you understand all the ins and outs of human action and a larger economy based on money, you can't, nobody can predict. Like, you might get right about a company, you might get right about a long-term trend, but nobody can predict the exact date and time of how such a complex system will move. So, actually, one of my favorite Austrians is, in fact, Peter St. Onge. He is of the Austrian School of Economics. So if you've liked Peter over the months and months we've been playing him, yeah, that's his sort of school of thought he's nested in. But this fine Monday, Peter St. Onge decided to get into, well, how the left is trying to scare Americans off of mass deportation.
Oh, I think I read something on this morning.
So let's have Peter St. Onge take on this issue.
All right.
Are Americans prepared to spend hundreds of billions deporting the 11 million plus illegals who have snuck into our country? So asks Left Libertarian magazine Reason in an article trying to scare Americans off deportation. They cite several cost estimates that cluster around $150 billion, or $14,000 per migrant, which come from both the left-wing Center for American Progress and the Pro-Deportation Center for Immigration Studies. Now, it's worth noting that's roughly 10 times what the border wall would have cost an ounce of prevention every time. There are, of course, higher estimates from the more left-wing bits of academia. Penn Wharton, for example, is closer to $400 billion. These higher estimates get there by counting the wages of the migrant, which is deceptive for two reasons. First, the wages went to the migrant, not to taxpayers. He used it for haircuts or rent on a place an American could not live, or he sent it home in remittances. The more important reason is that deporting migrants creates jobs for Americans. To see why, imagine that an American would happily mow lawns for $20 an hour, but he's undercut by an illegal at $12. Now, if that illegal goes home, the left calls that a $12 loss to the economy. But by their logic, it's actually an $8 gain. Lose 12, gain 20. In other words, we lost the Mexican lawnmower, but we gained an American lawnmower who is no longer playing Xbox in mom's basement. Moreover, if that American was on welfare, now he can get off. And if that Mexican was on welfare, which is likely since most illegals are, the welfare rolls just plunged. And that brings us to the other side of the deportation debate, the benefits. After all, we accept hundreds of thousands of legal immigrants per year, chosen by whether they will contribute to our society. Those who pass do indeed tend to have higher incomes, create more businesses, and commit less crime. Illegals are a completely different story, because they are, by definition, people who would not have passed those standards. Tallying this up, according to CIS, the lifetime drain just on taxpayers is roughly $68,000 per illegal. Compare that to the deportation cost of $14. That comes to an inflation-adjusted $986 billion in fiscal cost for the deportees in question. In other words, it is 7 times more expensive not to deport. Why? Because 70% of illegals have no education beyond high school, and they make, quote, extensive use of welfare. 59% of illegal-headed households use one or more major welfare program, often illegally. Keep in mind that's not including Medicaid, which many states give to illegals for free, nor EITC, where illegals can get 50 cents from taxpayers for every dollar they're paid illegally, mind. Also keep in mind that's only fiscal costs. It doesn't include the crime nor the collateral damage from 11 million overwhelmingly left-wing voters imposing socialism on the American people who never invited them in the first place. The small government Reagan utopia of California being the poster child. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. Illegal immigration is now the number 2 voter issue after the economy, inflation, and jobs. As a Trump victory appears more and more likely, the left's propaganda factory is ramping up to try and turn Americans against deportation. The elite thinks it will work since their only experience with illegals is cheap lawnmowers and nannies. Voters, on the other hand, can see with their own eyes the crowded schools, the packed shelters kicking out veterans and elderly, the dangerous streets, and the trillions in welfare. To fix all that, $150 billion is the deal of the century. A new episode of the podcast is up. Check it out at petersainonge.com. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.
Again, Peter St. Onge, always appreciate his insights there. And you just got to watch out. The closer Trump gets over the target, the more wailing and gnashing of teeth you're going to hear about every issue under the sun. I mean, take your pick. It's like Trump was allegedly racist back in the 70s.
I remember
with
those days.
he couldn't, he wouldn't rent apartments out to black people. And
that was the claim.
Or the Central Park 5, all this stuff. Like, you can bring up, maybe that's your reason. Maybe E. Jean Carroll is your reason you don't want to vote for Trump. Maybe Stormy Horseface Daniels. I don't know why nobody would vote for me in that regard.
Right.
There's all sorts of reasons you may not vote for Trump. But the beautiful thing is, Eddie, who's going to win the great state of Alabama?
Oh, that would be Donald John Trump.
You sure?
Pretty dang sure.
Yeah. Think we're pretty certain in that regard. 272-9228. Now let's welcome on a brand new sponsor. We got another brand new sponsor here. That's Clearwater's Property Management. Clearwater's LLC. And of course, they're at Clearwater's. They can help you with tree trimming.
That's right.
And pruning. And so here's the deal. Like, I love trees. I think trees look beautiful, especially in a neighborhood that's had years to grow.
Yeah.
But this happened when I started living in Forest Hills. I lived there for 2.5 years.
That's a very well-developed neighborhood. Lots of big
trees.
trees.
And the trees, Forest Hills is a fitting name. It's a little hilly, a lot of forested area.
Beautiful.
So at first I'm like, this is beautiful. And it is beautiful. And then I noticed, that tree just fell after that storm. And this tree in my backyard has to be over 100 foot, and every time a major thunderstorm comes in, I can see it swaying 6 to 8 feet in either direction.
If I remember, you had an AC taken out.
Yep.
By a drop-in limb.
A huge limb.
Yeah.
My next door neighbor had the back tree, it's an old oak, I think, that just came out from the roots and fell and caved in the roof. Yeah. So God forbid if you had something like that happen with a storm, of course, Clear Waters can help you with that. Or it could be you want to prevent anything like that from ever happening.
You got to have preventative maintenance.
You're like, this is an old tree.
Yeah.
I probably need to get rid of it. Or it could be you just need to prune back some of those trees.
Yeah, especially if you've got limbs touching your house. Every time the wind blows, it's grinding up and down on your shingles. Yeah. Every single time. So you need to have them trimmed back at a minimum.
And also stump grinding. So if you got just an ugly stump in the backyard or the front yard and you want to get rid of it, they can help you with that too.
Sure can.
So again, that's Clear Waters Property Management. You can always call them at 430-0376. That's 430-0376.
Or you can check them out on Facebook. I see them there on Facebook, Clear Waters Property Management.
Yes, this is Reed Waters is the man behind this.
And you can see some of the photos. Holy cow, some of the trees they've removed.
Right. It's hard work, but they do a great job.
Yes, they do.
So call them today for a free quote. Again, 430-0376. And be sure to tell Reed or any of the folks there at Clear Waters that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Oh, look at all these calls rolling in. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, guys. It's Bill.
Hey, Bill. How are you?
I'm great. I really enjoyed that piece you just played about deportation.
Yep.
It really kind of makes you open your eyes and go, why haven't we already been doing this?
Oh, we're too busy inviting them in right now.
Well, because mistakes, as they call it, whether it's Mayorkas or Biden, mistakes of this magnitude are not made innocently.
So true, Joe.
That's the plan.
Yep.
Well, you know, when you look at what is going on and all the crime, and if you get out just a little bit, you'll find that a lot of these are pretty much everywhere. I was in the grocery store at Prattville the other day, and there was probably 10 shopping, and when they got up to get ready to pay, they whipped out a little Visa card and paid for, I don't know, it must have been 8 buggies of groceries.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, there goes my tax money.
Yep.
Well, and as we both know, Bill, the Hispanic community in this town has grown, and unfortunately, they've been spotlighted for the worst reasons with all these shootings and just that triple homicide the other day. It's victims of it, but also I think another young man was arrested on Eastern Boulevard for homicide.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah, we had another homicide over the weekend.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we don't even keep count anymore, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder why we're not keeping score, why we're not keeping up, and why it's not in the news every day what the number is. I saw something the other day that said had been 27 homicides in Montgomery. And I'm kind of curious as to which month that was.
Yeah, right.
Because it's not 27 for the year. I guarantee you that.
We've been running one a day for a while as an average.
Oh, and I'm part of, somebody sends them to me. David Thrasher is throwing out these long form emails where he's laying out all the problems. And yeah, the hospitals in particular are just swamped by the amount of gunshots, not just people who die, just in general, the problem there.
Well, you know, the hospitals are making out like all the shooting victims are from high-powered rifles, like the 223 and 7.62 30 millimeter, which is a AK-47 round. But the reality of it is 95% of these shootings are 9 millimeter. They are not shot with AR-15s and AK-47s. Because there are some out there on the street but by and far, it's the 9mm that is the Friday night special.
Yeah,
So-
it's compact. You can stow it pretty much anywhere,
Yeah.
and it'll hurt somebody, if not kill them.
Yeah. So, there is a lot of deception going on in the news media. And to me, the biggest deception is the fact that they're not advertising what the number is per day, per week, in a running count for the year. How can a municipality have that much power over the press in a city the size of Montgomery?
I don't think it's power.
Yeah,
I think it has to do with old relationships, and not
Old
even talking
agreements.
about like buddy even
Yeah.
agreements, Eddie. I think a lot of these places rely on the police department to give them the numbers, the official number. And I think that's been not as forthright as you're suggesting, Bill.
Well, but a couple times the press has been called out for literally, and we'll go back to Amy, with what she was done. It took them, 3 or 4 days and really public pressure to come back around and correct that story. So I kind of think that a lot of these people are in the same club.
Well, one of the things that I saw the other day on the news was saying that Montgomery had more shootings than Chicago. They had more
Per
shootings
capita,
than
yeah.
Detroit. It didn't say per capita. It said more shootings than Chicago.
See, that doesn't sound right to me, just given how much bigger Chicago
It's not right.
Yeah.
They have, every weekend, they have 15, 20 people
Right.
murdered each day. Well, we don't have that. But where are these numbers? It's like you can say anything without backing it up with hard fact. And to say that Montgomery has more shootings than Chicago or Detroit is ludicrous. But you got all these big cities that are now stopping, and little cities like Montgomery that are stopping reporting their shootings to the FBI.
That's crazy.
So you can no longer trust the FBI numbers because a lot of cities aren't turning it in.
And it's, I think Montgomery does at this moment have a higher homicide rate than Chicago.
Is that right?
Yeah. So, and you look, I think there were 29 murders in 18, 42 in 19, 68 in 2020, 78 in 2021, 62 in 2022, 75 in 2023.
Well, I think the mayor was the one that was talking about more shootings in Montgomery than in Chicago. I'll make you a wager. You take his protective detail away from him, fly him to Chicago, drop him on the south side, tell him you'll pick him up on the north side and see what happens.
I ain't that mad at it.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the call, Bill. Really do.
Thank you, Bill.
Have a great day.
You too, brother.
I'm about to say that.
I ain't that mad.
I ain't
Nobody.
that mad. Yeah. Let's go to line 2. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good. Who's this?
David.
Hey, David. How you doing,
Good to
man?
hear you.
Good, man. The only problem with the deportation of the illegals is that are getting welfare benefits. Just try to get the federal government to cut those welfare benefits off to them once they're deported.
I see your point. It was
you
a
bring
slow
up
burn.
Very good point.
Wow.
Because I know some Jamaicans
who are getting
that get
American
Social Security. Yes.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yes. I never even thought about that, David, but you are, yeah. And they do not live here.
You will not get the federal government to put forth the effort. If they won't purge dead people from voter rolls, you think they're going to make the effort to purge illegals from welfare rolls?
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Nope.
So that's just the reality of it. I mean, sad but true.
Well,
And it won't matter if Republicans or Democrats are in control. Neither one of them will do it.
No, you're right.
So,
Bureaucrats.
Anyway, have a good one.
Appreciate
That's
it.
a good point, man.
Let's go to line 5. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Joel.
Hey, Joel.
Hey, somebody had told me that about Chicago and Montgomery, so I checked on Chicago as of June the 3rd. Chicago had like 215 murders this year, and Montgomery had 20-something. So per capita, they probably right, but as far as the amount, they was wrong.
Right. Amen.
But
Thank God.
I knew that didn't sound right.
Right. Yeah. No, it's
Thank
just
God, though.
it's a magnitude's bigger city,
Yeah.
bigger population,
Yeah.
and a bigger problem. I think they
Much
have going
bigger.
on there.
Yeah, much bigger.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Joel. Have a good one, buddy.
The problem here is not seeming to subside.
Not yet.
Keep saying a big choice by the mayor of this
Mhm.
city will be who he hires.
Yeah,
Well,
right
not
on
only
that.
who he hires to be the next chief of police, but also what mission is that chief given? Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hi, Joey. It's Pat. I think
Hey, Pat.
the last gentleman just answered shootings in Montgomery than Chicago. We have more shootings per capita.
Right.
When you start comparing the population, the size.
Right.
But you know what happens. There with figures like that. I love the quote. There's lies, there's damn lies, and there's statistics.
Right.
And that they can make the numbers say whatever they want
That's
them
so
to say.
true, man.
And so it's like I can remember years and years ago when Trayvon Martin was shot, and they made such a big deal about that. The night that Trayvon Martin was shot, there were 21 people shot in Chicago, and no one said a word about that. But they went after Trayvon's shooter because they thought he was a white guy, killing a black kid. But if you do the research, and someone can back me up on that and prove it, the day that he was shot, 21 people were shot in Chicago. So there are a lot of people getting killed in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you let gangs run part of your city, that's going to
Yep,
happen.
so-
Absolutely.
Anyway,
Appreciate the call, Pat.
Yep.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
That's we were talking about earlier. You had Dave Portnoy on. They just did I don't know how many multi-million-dollar place they built in Chicago. Third day of them opening that business, 2 of their employees were robbed on the way to work, mugged on the way to work. I can't, and for the life of me, I mean, I understand Chicago's a big city and you got all this stuff going on, a sport franchise and all this, but.
And who was I just, it was, I think Michael Malice, he said he just did a trip to Tokyo.
Yeah.
And he moved from New York. He was a lifelong from Brooklyn, and he moved to Austin. And in large part you couldn't defend yourself, number one, in New York. And when you see what's going on in so many parts of major cities in America, it's not just New York, but all over the place. And then you compare it to a big city like Tokyo. There are ways to solve this problem that clearly the liberal intelligentsia that run our big cities are just choosing not to do.
Oh, I agree. But now there's huge, and you know this as well as anybody, huge cultural difference.
There is a
between
huge cultural
Japanese.
difference, yes.
But I agree with you 100%. There are other big cities that don't have the kind of issues we have.
Right.
But they have a whole different set of policies. Maybe time to look at those policies.
272-9228 if you want to get it on the program. That's again 334-272-9228. This entire hour of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you whether you're looking to buy or refi.
That's right.
So say you're looking for a refinance deal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a common reason is, you've got mine and the credit cards just got upside down in some way. And you're barely making payments so you're just essentially paying interest on top of interest.
Falling behind.
And, it can happen to anybody,
It
especially if you have an emergency in life and get in a jam. So why not get that debt off your back with a great refinance deal? 7%, 8% on a mortgage is a heck of a lot less interest than 29% on a credit card.
Thank you, Joey.
But it doesn't have to be that you are in a jam with, say, credit cards or debt. Could be you just want to restructure your finances. Maybe you're trying to reinvest in your property. Maybe you're expanding out your investments in a different way. Could be you want to help the kids out as they go move to a new city, as they graduate. Maybe a graduation gift of some sort.
That'd be good.
There's all sorts of reasons. Maybe you want to do a big vacation. It's
That's
your
what I
money.
think. Family vacation.
It's your money. And of course, if you are looking to buy, Alabama Home Mortgage, they're the gold standard when it comes to pre-approval. Sellers are going to look at you and go, wait, you got Alabama Home Mortgage to tell you this?
Right,
yeah. And they'll walk with you every step of the way from pre-approval all the way to closing day. So call Alabama Home Mortgage today at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Honey, wake up.
What?
I think something's burning.
I don't smell anything.
I'm gonna go check.
Each year, over 65,000 American homes suffer a fire due to an electrical problem. Is your home safe? You can't be sure unless you call Crosby Electric, your exclusive provider of Current Safe, the world's foremost home diagnostic system. Crosby Electric will send a specially trained electrician to your home. Using high-tech equipment, they'll check your hidden wiring, panel box, light switches, and electrical outlets to make sure your home is safe.
Well, it appears that we found the culprit. Faulty wiring.
I should have had it checked.
Just be thankful everyone's okay.
For an in-home no-obligation assessment, visit crosbyelectric.com. Don't just think it's safe, know it's safe.
Now you're safe.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. Pretty typical June forecast here. Hot day today. High temperature up around 90. The dew points are high. That means rather humid. We'll call for a sun and cloud mix with the risk of some random hit or miss storms, mainly in the afternoon and evening hours. Tonight's low 66. Tuesday's high near 90. Wednesday, a little hotter, low to mid-90s. Good bit of sunshine both days, and I've got the rain chances fairly low Tuesday and Wednesday at 20% or less. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Have you heard the news? Capital Tractor will soon be moving to a brand new location in Montgomery. With lots of Kubota inventory, we're going to sell it instead of move it. Our big moving sale is a great time to get a great deal on a Kubota at Capital Tractor in Montgomery.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
How you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get on the program. That's 334-272-9228. Let's see what we have yet to get to. Oh, well, the big news coming out of Europe.
No.
Did you see? That populism is surging around the world.
Saw it over the weekend.
Yeah. So what we're seeing is right-wing parties win big in European elections.
Mm-hmm.
This shows, well, the biggest loser are the Green parties.
Yeah, I bet.
All the environmental parties, because
I bet.
I think it really just hamstrung these governments, especially when Russia invades Ukraine.
And the farmers. And look how the farmers, the protest, remember the slinging of poo?
Right. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
So in particular in France, Macron is gambling on a snap election to fight the far-right surge.
I know they operate completely different than we do, but it sounds crazy that we're calling for elections next Tuesday. Hope you're ready.
Right.
What?
But here, this is the Politico report from Paris, from Paris. European elections are meant to be worthy, but boring exercises in centrist coalition building. Not this time.
Not really.
A surge in far-right populism in France provoked President Emmanuel Macron into calling a high-risk national election that could determine the future not only of his country, but of the European Union itself. Across the continent, it was a good, if unspectacular, night for center-right and far-right parties, and a terrible one for liberals and especially Greens. But in France, the far-right national rally, led by Eurosceptic and NATO skeptic firebrands, completely crushed Macron's liberal renaissance and all other contenders. The national rally is on course to win 31.5% of the vote, more than twice the 14.7% projected for Macron's Liberal Party. In a high-risk gamble to regain the political initiative, Macron bet that voters will turn back the far-right tide and show Marine Le Pen's national rally cannot win at a national level.
I don't think so.
France needs a clear majority in serenity and harmony. To be French at heart is about choosing to write history, not being driven by it. Does that make sense to you, Eddie?
No, they're just a bunch of...
Not like you with your biases.
I know, I am.
That might be one of your most like boomer opinions.
I don't hide it.
But actually, let's, I mean, I know you'll love this. Let's listen in to Macron.
J'ai décidé de vous redonner le choix de notre avenir.
Why are you laughing?
I thought it was that skunk thing, that skunk character.
Pepe Le Pew?
Yeah, my bad.
Parlementaire par le vote. Je dissous donc...
Best thing they ever came out with is Alamone. Other than that, I got nothing.
So, but Marine Le Pen is declaring her party ready to exercise power and told her ecstatic followers, I can only welcome this decision by Macron.
How do you think he handled that? You think he was surprised by this? That they have a double?
Here, let's ask him.
Ce soir, l'Assemblée nationale.
Or did he instantly just say, oh, I give up?
Je signerai dans quelques instants le décret de convocation des élections législatives qui se tiendront le 30 juin.
That means I throw in the towel.
Yeah, right. But it wasn't just in France, folks.
Across Europe, what?
This far-right surge was replicated elsewhere in Europe on a dramatic night of upheaval in EU politics. In Berlin, Olaf Scholz.
No, not Schulte.
Olaf Scholz, ruling coalition parties were beaten by the far-right alternative. We want an alternative for Germany. Which came second to conservatives. Far-right parties are also on course to make gains in Austria, the Netherlands, Spain, and Italy. Wow.
Tide's turning there, Bubba.
No, in particular, a lot of this is all the stuff coming from Brussels. You mentioned the farmers and all the protests you see occasionally. Like, it's, I think, right at the feet of Brussels, and that's what's driving this at this point.
I mean, at least I will give it to them. They're standing up. They're doing something about it. They're protesting, not just carrying signs. I mean, they were bringing in the farm equipment, Joey. Ooh.
Well, like Macron, though, Le Pen suggested France had come to a historical turning point. Tonight's message, including that of disillusion, is also addressed to the leaders of Brussels. This great victory for patriotic movements is in line with the direction of history, which is seeing throughout the world the return of nations. Man, it's a different world.
Yeah, it is.
A different world is rising up. But we'll see. We'll see if this momentum continues at the local level within these nations.
I think it will.
Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Papa B.
Hey, Papa B.
Stick a feather in his cap and call him macaroni.
Nice.
Or maybe stick a fork in his butt because he might be done.
Yes.
I don't know. That would be a great time, a great thing if they could run this guy and all the other globalists off the stage, because gracious knows it's been a long time coming. I noticed that our dear friend Klaus Schwab has tried to get off the stage gracefully by handing over the reins of his organization to his children or something like that.
I think to his son, yeah.
And, Soros and the whole crowd are going to be running for cover if this happens. If this happens in France, but I'm telling you, that would be a huge harbinger of what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Both throughout Europe and really the Western civilization countries, traditional Western civilization countries, including Australia. I think they've had it up to here.
I think you're right.
With their baloney. The idea that you're going to quarantine people, force them to get a shot. I'm telling you, man, you kind of feel a tremor in the force, so to speak.
Yeah, right.
Too.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's one thing, when bringing it back home here to local politics, if you look at Stephen Reed, and I really, at this point, unless and until he gives me a reason, I'm not going to give him the honor of calling him mayor. Y'all do what you want to. But he runs with this globalist crowd. And one of their stated objectives is to centralize police authority. I got a feeling that that's one of the reasons why we're getting what we're getting. Defund the police. His is don't fund the police. And I think it's for some of the same reasons. Now, you can say it's all about social justice, and maybe it is. But it falls right into line along with the other Democrat mayors, governors, and leaders throughout the country here that are, trying to do this big push. And the reason is because a small minority can have control over a centralized force. But they can't do it if it's diversified. Once it's, if it's like it is now, they lose that kind of control and power. I understand that it's not just the police force that's having troubles. It's really top to bottom in the city, even in the fire department. They're having troubles. Y'all might want to, if you have a chance, look into it yourself. But from what I'm understanding, Bud, there's heap big doo-doo going on in the fire department. Everything from funds that are being misused to threats of like firing, social justice type things that are going on.
even threats of violence. And that ain't good. We got to stop that mess right where it started. But anyway, all right, guys. So soapbox minute done for the day.
Appreciate it, Papa B. And as you were talking, I'm listening, but I'm also scrolling the Twitter, and apparently in 1990, Playgirl magazine ran a contest promising an intimate experience with Donald Trump, and it's literally a picture of young Trump, and it says, "Sleep with Donald Trump." The contest that puts you in bed with the man of your dreams.
I'd like to learn more about this. Can we still do contests like that today?
No, man.
Just curious.
Just shut up, Eddie. I know where you're going with it. I know where you're going with this now.
What year was that, Joey?
1990. I'm going to read this. I'll read the advert.
That is
here.
so crazy.
Wow. Well, we got to have levity amidst all this mess. Appreciate it, Papa B.
See you, brother. That is crazy.
Yeah, here I'll keep going.
I really want to find out. Okay, who won? How did it go? I mean,
So it's it's a fake. It's a woman, apparently with a talking bubble, a picture of Trump. And so here's what it says. It says, "Sleep with Donald Trump. The contest that puts you in bed with the man of your dreams. He's tall, good looking, about to be divorced, and rich beyond your wildest imagination. His every move makes headlines, even his bedroom moves." One woman reportedly called him, quote, "the best sex I've ever had," end quote. He's multi-billionaire Donald Trump. And now, if you win our contest, you can snuggle up and get to know him too. It's easy. Just fill out the coupon below.
I got a coupon for some sex with Donald Trump. What? Got this coupon. Ain't been validated yet.
They'll pick 25 winners at random. One for each million of soon-to-be ex-wife's Ivana's prenuptial agreement. Wow. Classy. Each lucky winner will receive a pillowcase exclusively silk screened for the Playgirl contest with the Donald's face. So you can lie there whispering sweet nothings in his ear all night. Wow.
That's
1990, folks.
We've come a long way.
Playgirl magazine. We have come a long way. That's hilarious.
I want to find out more.
Yeah, I'm retweeting it now. At the Joey Clark. That's hilarious. 272-9228. How about this? Let's hit a break.
All right, let's do that.
Back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
Now you can add the power of digital advertising to the #1 reach of radio. Let Blue Water's 20 years of local advertising and marketing success show you how. Grow your business with a complete suite of digital solutions, combined with the reach of the most listened to radio group in the River region. Call us or go to BlueWaterBroadcasting.com to find out how we can increase your return on investment. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
Hello, Montgomery. Mark Talley here, host of The Score on WCOV Fox 20. I'd like to invite you to join us weekday mornings at 6 on Fox 20 for the latest sports news and insight. You can also check out show clips or stream entire episodes of The Score at WCOV.com. On the Score, we bring you the best high school, college, and professional sports news for Central Alabama. Join us on The Score weekdays, 6 a.m. on WCOV Fox 20.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back, folks. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Michael Cohen of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. How you doing today, sir?
I'm great. How are y'all?
Oh, good. I had a great weekend. Hope you did too.
I did. It was a beautiful weekend.
Now, we haven't talked about this in a second. You know, people might already have some kick butt TVs. Of course, you all have an amazing selection there at Cohen's, and it's up to 95-inch now with the Samsung and Sony.
Well, 98.
Oh, yeah.
So what's 3 inches?
Wow, 98-inch TV. Man. And so folks might want a big TV, but a key part of, say, whether you're watching sports and want to be immersed in the game or you're wanting to watch a great action movie is the sound. And I know you all have options for that, too.
That's right. That to me, that's the subtleties that people don't think about. I mean, it's easy to be able to appreciate a huge picture, but the cool part is being able to watch that picture or even just close your eyes and have the audio portion of it put you in the middle of the action. That's what made Psycho such an incredible movie was the screeching. It wasn't, I mean, we've all seen movies where somebody got killed, but the music or Jaws, the music before something bad happened is what made the hair on the back of your neck stand up.
Exactly right. And so I know y'all have traditional wired speakers, but you also have some pretty kick-butt sound bars that are top of the line.
That's right. We really, as far as the wireless sound bars go, we really love the Sonos brand. And it's a cool brand from a surround sound standpoint. And the way that my guy sets them up, I mean, they operate like third grade level. As far as for your home theater and your surround sound, you can add rear speakers, you can add subwoofers, you can add more rooms of sound for music, and then those would work off of an app so that you would have the ability to stream almost anything that's out in the online world, which includes a ton of radio stations. If someone like the Joey Clark Show, they could listen to you in California on iHeartRadio and enjoy it, from a million miles away.
Well,
so it gives you a lot of capabilities.
And folks, you can check out all of this at thinkcohens.com, but I really encourage you to stop by the Boulevard there, 2515 Eastern Boulevard, right here in Montgomery. They're open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And when you stop by, be sure to find Michael or one of the great team members. Say, hey, I heard Michael on the radio with those guys.
That's right. We need to know that somebody was listening to us.
Oh, that's the constant neurosis of my life. I appreciate it as always, sir. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you later.
See you, bud.
Like that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Good sense of humor. And he set me up, man. I
Dude,
love being a Cohen's
hooked you up
customer.
so good, man.
Yeah. So y'all check out Cohen's Electronics and Appliances today. We'll be right back. Final hour here on a Muggy Monday coming up.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. The criminal trial of President Biden's son heading into its final stretch, closing arguments now underway. The Baltimore shipping channel set to reopen. The 50-foot deep, 700-foot wide shipping lane was expected to reopen over the weekend. But a commander with the U.S. Coast Guard told the Baltimore Sun the channel still needs to undergo more dredging before ships can pass through safely. The Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed after being struck by a container ship back in March. Former President Trump addressed tens of thousands of people in Las Vegas on Sunday afternoon. Mr. Trump earning cheers for his promise to end the border crisis if he wins the White House again in November. Stocks are higher. The Dow raising 21 points down. The NASDAQ is up 9. This is SRN News.
Are you a business owner? Did you know that there are over 33 million small businesses in America? Small businesses are the engines that power our country. So why is it so hard for them to acquire business funding for things like expansion and cash flow? Bank loans are becoming harder to attain as large corporations grab all the capital. Who's looking out for you and your business? Meet Swish Funding, the business funding platform offering quick and easy funding options exclusively for small businesses. Whether it's funds for cash flow, expansion, or equipment, Swish Funding has your back. And whether it's $25,000 or even $2 million, our process takes just minutes, with cash in your account in less than 24 hours. To qualify, you must be in business for at least 1 year, with an average monthly revenue of at least $25,000. Swish Funding, helping keep America's small businesses running. Apply for the funding your business needs at swishradio.com. That's SWISH radio.com.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by the Johnny Adams Law Firm. They want you to stay safe on the road. Please don't text and drive. Get to your destination safely. Your family and friends will thank you. From the Johnny Adams Law Firm.
Well, hi, everybody. Pretty typical June forecast here. Hot day today. High temperature up around 90. The dew points are high. That means rather humid. We'll call for a sun and cloud mix with the risk of some random hit-or-miss storms, mainly in the afternoon and evening hours. Tonight's low 66. Tuesday's high near 90. Wednesday, a little hotter, low to mid-90s. Good bit of sunshine both days. I've got the rain chances fairly low Tuesday and Wednesday at 20% or less. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
1819 News.
There's now an update on the condition of one of the two teenage girls who were attacked by sharks in Walton County, Florida. Both girls are from Mountain Brook, Alabama. The mother of Lulu Gribben put out an update on caringbridge.org, revealing that the shark bit off her daughter's left hand and doctors had to amputate part of her daughter's right leg. The two shark attacks occurred 4 miles apart along Walton County Beach this past weekend. A 45-year-old woman is now in stable condition after losing part of her right leg in the second shark attack. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
A 3-year-old child is in stable condition after finding a gun in a vehicle and accidentally shooting himself. The incident happened on Saturday in Midfield. The child was transported to Children's of Alabama, and an investigation is now being started. There will be some lane closures along parts of Interstate 65 in Shelby County that start this week. The rolling roadblocks will be put in place on Tuesday night near the Tank Farms exit in order to install electronic message boards. The project should be completed by Wednesday morning for southbound lanes and by Thursday morning for the northbound lanes.
The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency has graduated 25 new officers to begin serving the public here in the state. 22 of those officers will be assigned to the state's highways and 3 to Alabama's waterways as part of Aaliyah's Marine Patrol. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
During this time of year, you probably expect me to say, the deals are hot at Larry Puckett Chevrolet, or you'll look cool driving a Larry Puckett Chevrolet. Well, since the deals are hot every month at Larry Puckett, you need to know that Larry Puckett is currently having a red tag sale. Save thousands on any number of pre-owned cars, all makes and models: Chevrolet, Jeep, Nissan, Toyota, Buick. Larry Puckett has one of the largest used car inventories in the river region, so you'll have plenty to choose from. Start your summer off with a hot deal by saving a lot of bucks on new Chevrolets or pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. All makes and models at one of the river region's top auto dealers, Larry Puckett Chevrolet. Their red tag sale won't last forever, so do yourself a favor and save today. Shop them online at larrypuckett.com. For as long as I can remember, Larry Puckett's customers have been doing the talking. Larry Puckett Chevrolet on Cobb Ford Road in Prattville.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to the program. I'm Joey. He's Eddie. And in a second, we're going to continue with like this competition, the Veep Stakes that's going on. And we're going to play a little bit of Doug Burgum. And he says at one point, I wish you could have seen what I saw the last 72 hours with Trump on the stump. Trump on the stump. He's an impressive guy there, out there on that stump.
That sounds all right.
At those rallies. Well, before we play, Doug Burgum talking about that, and I think putting on I would go with Burgum or Byron Donalds, who were playing last week.
Okay.
But we'll see what Trump decides. Here is Trump, I think, giving out a pretty brilliant idea policy-wise. Let's listen in.
This is the first time I've said this, and for those hotel workers and people that get tips, you're going to be very happy, because when I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips, people making tips.
Wow. Not going to charge taxes on people making tips.
We're not going to do it.
Wow.
And we're going to do that right away, first thing in office, because it's been a point of contention for years and years and years. And you do a great job of service. You take care of people. And I think it's going to be something that really is deserved. More importantly, popular or unpopular. I do some unpopular things, too, if it's right for the country. I do what's right. But so those people that have jobs in restaurants, whatever the job may be, a tipping job, we're not going after for taxes anymore. This will be ended.
I think that's a great idea.
I think that's great. Because I'll be very honest, and you and I both know this. Mm-hmm. We don't need the money. The U.S. government does not need the money to be taxing people on that pay scale.
Well, they're spending it.
Right, but they don't need it. And if they ain't, well, I would say if they ain't got it, they won't spend it. But that's not how we operate.
Yeah, and they just created a thin air.
Yeah. But that's good.
The Fed. And Michael Lee last week, Senator Michael Lee, put out a End the Fed bill.
I heard about something like that, Joe.
I like Mike Lee.
I thought he would win you over with that.
Nah, he's already, he won me over a while ago.
Yeah.
And apparently one of the smartest people. Everybody up there's clever, smart, for the most part.
Okay.
Say in the Senate. Like, I'm sorry, like, people want to act like, well, maybe some of them are dumb, but, and sure, but come on. A lot of these folks are pretty clever. But apparently Mike Lee is just wicked smart. Like, he's able to just cite chapter and verse, all sorts of sections of law in the Constitution, and like he's a true pro at that stuff, which is a good asset to have as a senator.
Sure.
But here is the guy who I kind of like. I think he's my number 2, Doug Burgum.
Oh, yeah.
To be Trump's number 2.
You've been on the train for him in a bit.
Yeah, no, I remember going back to the debates. I'm like, who's this Doug guy?
Yeah.
He seems like measured, down to earth. And then you find out he's independently wealthy. He's a billionaire. He's a governor. Like, has a little. He's never going to outshine Trump with his persona.
Where's he governor?
I think South Dakota or
I think it was one of the Dakotas.
North Dakota.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was one of the Dakotas. Yeah,
yeah, North Dakota. So let's listen in to Burgum here. I think this is on Fox News over the weekend.
Has been on the trail with Trump these past few days. Trump surrogate and former presidential candidate Governor Doug Burgum, and he joins us now. Governor, you're being discussed as a potential VP. You're on that very exclusive short list. What do you make of that?
Well, Rachel, Pete, Will, great to be with you this morning. But I tell you, wow, I wish America could see President Trump on the stump like I've seen him in the last 72 hours. I mean, first of all, you know, I spent my career in technology. I knew a lot of super hardworking tech CEOs, but nobody works harder than President Trump. I mean, the number of speeches he gave, the number of hands he's shaken, his hand literally, like people shaking his hand so hard he's got it bruised, but the guy just keeps on going. And roundtables, talking to people about the issues that matter to them, listening and curious and digging in. I mean, it's impossible to imagine Joe Biden doing one of these events, much less back to back to back to back for 72 hours, flying around between Arizona, Nevada, Northern California, Southern California. It's really incredible. And I think that when people see him, they see the depth of his care about the country, and he's right on all the issues that matter. And that's why you've got record fundraising happening. That's why you have record turnout. That's why you have people lining the streets because they know that he's the guy that's going to solve the issues that they care about: the border, inflation, wars abroad, all these things. And it's very exciting. And I just wish America could see President Trump when he's engaging directly with citizens. It's an amazing thing to watch. It's really a piece of history.
Governor, we've seen the reports. You're on the list. We talked to another person in Senator Tim Scott, who's on the list. So we know that's out there. Can you confirm for us, have you submitted paperwork formally to President Trump's team for vetting?
Well, I know this is a big interest to some folks that are following the process, but I would just defer any questions back to the Trump campaign team. The real point is that President Trump, I mean, look at every demographic that he needs to win. You talked about him leading in Nevada, but I mean, he's got a chance to win Minnesota and Virginia. This is right now, if the election was this week, it would be a historic win for President Trump. He had, a chance to win states like Minnesota that haven't won by a Republican for decades and decades. So that's anyway.
So that's an artfully delivered not a no, which I understand. You can't say anything, but I get it.
Okay.
Well,
Then why are you trying to trap him, Hegseth? Guess this is part of the whole
part of the game, right?
Game, yeah. Let me ask a thing I know you can't talk about, but maybe you'll talk about it.
Maybe we'll slip up.
You know that thing you keep promising me, but then pulling away?
Yeah.
Yeah, is it going to happen this Valentine's Day?
Probably not. But let's keep thinking about it.
Maybe.
But to be truthful, Governor, I think it's a rightful thing for all of us to be discussing because we're talking about you potentially being the second most powerful person on the planet running for that. And I think we've all understood through the lens of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden the importance of this decision for President Trump. You're getting a ton of attention. We're talking about it here. Obviously, this is today in the New York Times. 2 separate articles on you this morning in the New York Times. Here's the headline from one. Trump's energy guy talked a green game, but now sells big oil priorities. Another says for Trump, Doug Burgum emerges as a safe option and a wild card. I actually want to focus on the first one. The green, you talk a green game, but now sell big oil priorities. Now, for a lot of conservatives, there are some questions like what in the past you've been on some issues that are important to conservatives, like climate change and green energy.
Well, I take great issue with that New York Times headline, but I think this comes down on energy, what we're doing in North Dakota. It's innovation, not regulation. Innovation is the way we're going to solve any problem. Innovation's been the source
Amen.
of American greatness.
Amen.
And energy is what we need for us to advance. Part of the reason why the donors are pouring out in Silicon Valley is that they all understand for the new things that are coming that we need for us to maintain American dominance in our economy around the world, like crypto and like artificial intelligence. These are huge consumers of electricity, and Joe Biden's energy policies are actually reducing the amount of base load in our country, destabilizing the grid, raising prices for Americans. Electricity prices are up 30%. That's something that you can't say, oh, I'm going to move from this house to that house and get my electricity bill to go down. I mean, this affects every American and it affects every product. I mean, Joe Biden, they're so wrong on this. And that's why people are pouring out, because we're not going to maintain our lead over China if we don't figure out a way to get in the energy game. But if you want to have clean energy, we can do it in America better than any place in the world. America produces the cleanest, safest, smartest energy. Anytime Joe Biden restricts the U.S. energy industry and we shove that demand overseas to places like Iran, Russia, Venezuela, any place like that, it's worse for the global environment, and then they're funding the wars against us, and it hurts Americans. So it's like a triple bad policy by the Joe Biden. Bad for the environment, bad for world peace, bad for Americans, and nothing's changed in my position on that. And that in North Dakota, we just call it innovation, not regulation.
What do you think of this guy, man? Like, seriously, like that last answer.
Actually pretty good.
Like, he seems like an adult.
He didn't just discount the point. He had some argument to go with it and why. So I like that.
And something about he is also independently wealthy, to me, is huge. Because the same way that most politicians have, say, the donor class or certain interests get their hooks in them, if you've got billions, you don't need their damn money. You got FU money.
Right.
And I think that's a powerful statement. Now, of course, you can run hit ads on the billionaires, but I don't think that's actually really resonating with Americans that much.
Not too much at all.
I think the populism like you're seeing in Europe and the populism you're seeing here in the United States has much more to do with our, say, elite institutions, like the media, like the university systems, like the latest thing being pushed by corporate America, the shiny, brand new thing. And I think that's what Americans, a lot of them at least, are starting to, I'm just tired of this crap. Why can't we have common sense like you just heard Burgum laying out there when it comes to, say, energy policy? Which that does baffle me.
Well, I think a lot of these policies, when you look at that, you'll see the same thing.
Right. If you want to get to the future faster in terms of technology, whether it's energy technology or any other technology, you need cheap, dense energy.
Yeah, you're exactly right. But a lot of people confuse energy just with gasoline alone. And that's not the case.
No.
But one price does affect the other.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
But you need to have cheap energy.
Well, we'll see. I like this guy, man.
Yeah.
Like, it just starts to make more and more sense the more I watch him, the more I look into his past. I think Burgum might be the guy, but who knows? Who knows?
Talk in circles on that one anyway.
Because often, folks, there's the public competition, and then there's a behind-the-scenes competition.
Right.
There's what sort of donors can you bring to the table? What sort of assets in general? What sort of media game do you got? Like, there's a lot that goes into this decision, but at the end of the day, it might be, do you like the guy? Do you trust one another? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we shall see. And I think it's a good thing that Mr. Ramaswamy Vivek is not on the short list.
I've been meaning to ask you, do you think for sure, 100% for sure, the VP will come off that list?
I don't know, not for sure.
I just don't think it's going to. Just because Trump's Trump. Trump's Trump. That's just my thought.
Now, do you want to throw a curveball and listen in to, like, the most corporate news, like what the prestigious elite listen to?
I'll give it a go, but man.
No, I haven't listened to it yet. I just saw the headline here.
Okay.
And the guy's name, you remember the name Thomas Friedman?
Yes, I do remember that name.
Yeah. He's on Washington Week. Put on by The Atlantic. And he's going to be talking about one of the dumbest foreign policy decisions.
Oh, joy.
In the post-Cold War era. And it was not Joe Biden.
Oh.
It was Donald Trump.
So let me ask you this, because it's a question about the approach of Donald Trump to the Middle East versus Joe Biden to the Middle East. you could argue, after the Soleimani hit that Trump ordered, you could argue that that actually scared Iran into a kind of quiescence for a while. My question to you is this. Who are the Iranians more afraid of right now, the Iranian leadership, Donald Trump or Joe Biden?
I'm not sure they're afraid of either one. Let's remember, Donald Trump did, in my view, in partnership with Benjamin Netanyahu, the single stupidest thing that's been done in post-Cold War foreign policy. They tore up the Iran nuclear deal and got nothing in return. That deal that President Obama negotiated had Iran a year away from a bomb, basically. Iran is now weeks, days away from a bomb.
Or it might. We don't know for
whatever.
sure.
But we're talking. We gave up real leverage on them. That was a disaster.
So that wasn't.
Wait, what the hell are you talking about?
Don't agree with that at all. You know as well as I know. They'll tell you, yeah, we're not going to have a bomb. In the meantime, how many times did we catch them enriching uranium?
Well, and also just, we kept them a year away at a certain threshold.
Please. Now they're weeks dead. Maybe they haven't. Right.
Well, and also it's like the timeline's running out. Like if you had stayed in the deal.
Yeah.
We're getting pretty close to when it was going to sunset.
It's a single most.
And of course, things aren't like more intense in the Middle East, say with Israel and the Shia and like none of that's Iran and Israel aren't in.
Who gave them all them billions of dollars back?
Yeah.
When did the trouble really start?
But I think, smart people can disagree over what is a sound, practical policy, especially in geopolitics.
Okay.
But to call that the stupidest thing that's been done in post-Cold War foreign policy is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard.
My guess is somehow or another that affected his investment.
Well, and this is the dope who travels to China, hangs out in the airport food court and goes, this is what China's like today. Why don't you actually get out of your posh setting and go visit some shanties or something like Eddie here. 272-9228. Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the job, right?
I have no choice sometimes.
Yeah, it is part of the job. Again, 272-9228. Coming up, and I definitely want to ask Judge Napolitano about this tomorrow.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court could crush Biden's regulatory agenda, but not just Biden's. I'm seeing this from the Washington Examiner. They should have made this bigger. The Supreme Court may soon undercut Biden's regulatory regime.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not just Biden's. You're talking. It could undercut the way the administrative state has operated for decades.
Well, I haven't liked the way they've operated for decades, so I'm open.
Yeah?
I'm open to hear what the change is.
So here, I'll just read it straight up. The future of the administrative state hangs in the balance. Supreme Court justices will soon decide in a pair of cases whether to reverse a decades-old precedent known as the Chevron deference.
Oh, yeah.
That would curb federal agencies' power to regulate everything from Wall Street to the stove in your kitchen, which they really are going hard after gas appliances, which is just nuts.
Yep.
Anyway. The Washington Examiner series here will look at how a departure from this precedent could rip up the regulation nation. So this is the underlying case they're focusing on in this part of their series, saying the Supreme Court will soon issue a ruling that could reshape the balance of power between federal agencies and the judiciary, give small litigants due process leverage, and disrupt President Joe Biden's progressive regulatory agenda. The nearly 40-year-old precedent known as the Chevron doctrine tells courts to defer to federal agencies reasonable interpretations of ambiguous statutes. So it's not clear what that actually means, so leave it up to the experts, the smart guys, to interpret how to apply it, right? And it's not like the judges are experts in a certain subject matter, so you got to show deference to the actual experts we hire. What, you're going to talk to your Aunt Nancy in Kansas when it comes to, say, COVID policy?
I kind of think they did.
But conversely, the federal government contends the precedent respects courts' authority to interpret law while also respecting Congress's ability to delegate powers to agencies in the executive branch. This is according to Justice Department legal briefs. Major industry groups encouraging the High Court to diminish or toss out Chevron include oil giants such as Chevron and ExxonMobil, agriculture giants such as the North American Meat Institute, have also urged the Supreme Court to move away from broad agency deference, as have trade groups representing e-cigarette companies. Conservative interest groups that are sympathetic to the industry groups describe Chevron as a legal framework that typically gives more favor to quote-unquote experts within executive agencies, such as in cases where industry groups challenge climate change rules or other environmental regulations. Kerry Severino, president of the conservative JCN, formerly the Judicial Crisis Network, told the Washington Examiner that Chevron essentially, quote, gives the regulators a thumb on the scale in any court case. That's a huge disadvantage for any person challenging the federal government. Huh. The cases before the High Court, Loper Bright Enterprises v. Raimondo and Relentless Incorporated v. Department of Commerce, were brought by two fishing companies challenging a National Marine Fisheries Service mandate that forces their fishing companies to pay and house at-sea herring monitors.
Oh, wow.
But the core dispute provides a stage for the Supreme Court's Republican-appointed majority to reassess Chevron. The fishing companies argue that Congress never authorized this to require commercial fishermen to pay for at-sea monitors, highlighting a central aspect of the Chevron debate, the extent of agency authority. After the 6-3 Republican-appointed Supreme Court heard oral arguments in January over the case, the majority of justices gave no indication they would bolster or reaffirm Chevron. The only uncertainty is how far the justices will pare back the 1984 doctrine. Interesting. I think it would be a huge change in the balance of power between the branches, and I think that would actually be a very, very, very healthy thing for this nation.
No doubt. Think about some of the agencies that we know overstep their bounds. EPA, DOJ. I mean, think about. There's a lot more I probably can't say because I'll get in trouble. But yeah, I'm down with that program.
272-9228. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
What up, friends?
How you doing?
Well, out here wrestling with these damn mosquitoes.
Are they eating you up, man?
Yeah, in my new spot here, boy, I called what's the company that does advertising on your show? Yeah, I called them this morning, put them on standby in case I lose my battle. I'm trying to fight them right now myself, but hey, I ain't doing so good.
You need
right
to call
now.
the pros,
I'm
man.
telling you, Duke. I had
boy.
I had that problem at my Airbnb, man, to the point I was like, okay, I'm going to have to do something. The day they came, my skeeter problem went away. And I'm not bragging on them, but that's exactly what happened. And
I'm gonna have them, boy, because I ain't mean to cut you off.
no, I'm just saying it's worth the investment.
Man, but I had my son-in-law out here with me a couple weeks ago, and I heard my wife on the phone talking to my daughter saying that he had put some calamine lotion or whatever that lotion is you put on your to dry up there, and he blamed it on my mosquitoes that got him over here. I said, okay, but they got me last night, boy.
They'll get you, man, in the dangest of places.
I had some of my old neighbor gave me some of them old things, what them things you light outside, little torch-looking thing.
Yeah, how'd that work out for you?
Yeah, sure, man, those things laughed at me. Yeah, about 50 of them got on me. So get your ass inside, boy.
Yeah, they don't work so good, man.
Man, so me and the dog like to hang out outside, and got all these flowers and crap all around me and all this bushes and stuff. And
yeah, call Pest Pro, man.
I'm telling you.
Make me understand one thing now. I was raised in the country, okay?
Okay.
The mosquito I grew up with, you sing before they bite you. Okay, before they lit on you. You know they're lit when they stop singing. These city mosquitoes is totally different. They sneak up on you. What's up with that, man? Talk to me.
I don't know, dude.
I know
what you mean, though.
Business, you get the hurting that going on and stuff, man. About 15 of them, man.
Dang, that's a lot, dude.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to get away from out here now. I got my little technique going, spraying it with my spray in the air to a little while. But this stuff I used to use called an off.
Yeah.
It's okay, but it don't last long.
It does not.
These people pretty good.
Sweat
But back to these people you're talking about. I
Yes,
talked
sir.
to them and everything. So, how long does it last for?
They came out for my place. They come out, I think, once a month. But it lasted Well, I didn't notice any mosquitoes till right at a month time, and I called them because I had some guests coming, and they were already scheduled coming out the next day.
And also, you're right on the lake.
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
it's
Mine
like-
is. Yeah, mine is mosquito country. There's no doubt.
Right.
So I think
Anyhow,
you'll be.
boy,
I think you'll be pleasantly pleased with them, man. I know you will. Be.
Something got to give. Something got to give, boy. I can't stand too many more bites like that, boy. I don't know whether it's female mosquitoes or what. I don't know.
Yeah, you're gonna end up with a fever and voting for Donald Trump.
Don't come back and blame it on the mosquitoes when you vote for Trump now.
I said those female mosquitoes. I said probably.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You still gonna
Yeah,
vote
that's
for
what
Trump?
probably is. I don't know. They trying to,
You got that sweet stuff going on.
I ain't that sweet going on now.
They attracted to the sweet.
I even some sweet cookies earlier,
They attracted to the sweet. So be careful.
Think so?
I know so. They come to me.
I got to mess with Joey for half a second. Can I mess with you for half a second, Joey?
Okay, sure.
What happened to you? What happened to you right before you went off the show Friday evening, sir? He had to say something to you. I thought, what's that?
Oh yeah, you said something about my lack of a love life or something, or
good Lord, what day do I not say
I don't know. Like I yell at him all the time because I love him, Duke. I mean,
Yeah,
this is how it works.
I don't know. I don't know. Now I have to go back and listen.
Yeah, I remember yelling and ending the show that way, but
Just
I
another
don't
day
really
that
remember
doesn't
what it
matter.
was about.
Back to Trump for half a second now. He needs to strike off Tim Scott for once. I don't like weak men for one.
Okay.
And who's the other one? And who else on that back on the list?
Is Rubio on the
Lindsey
list?
Graham, man. Lindsey Graham not on there, is he?
No,
on there?
Lindsey.
Okay.
I tried.
those two.
I tried to butter his
I
buns,
won't-
but it didn't work out.
No.
I don't want him thinking about Lindsey Graham at all.
Right.
In no kind of way, because him and Tim Scott, those are the weakest cats out of South Carolina, boy, I ever seen in my life. To
Stop
be grown
playing
men,
with it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, who's else on the list? That cat out of Florida, strike him off.
Rubio.
Oh, hell, he shouldn't even been on there. What's the other
J.D.
cat?
Vance out of Ohio,
Yeah,
another
I
senator.
like him. I just hate to
Vance would be good.
I thought the Santos was on there, Mr. Ron.
No, I don't think so.
He's not on it?
No.
Oh, he don't like Ron like that. Okay.
No, Ron's good in Florida. They're going
I
to keep him in
think,
Florida.
like I've been saying, Duke, I think for me, if I had to choose from that short list, if it comes off the list, is Byron Donalds or the guy we just heard, Doug Burgum.
I don't care for the Donaldson boy either, because he how old is he?
Late 30s, I think.
Maybe.
See, he don't know crap yet. See, I almost said a cuss word, but he don't know nothing running his mouth by what the hell he's trying to talk about.
Yeah.
He talks out of context what he's trying to say.
I'm so tired of this. I'm old and experienced. I know more than all you young people.
Here's the
But
thing.
all these young cats go to school and get a little piece of paper in their hands, they can smart. But hey, you got the damn common sense.
We want youth in there, but we also want some experience. And that's a
But I
tough.
don't know
That's
nothing.
tough.
I sat there and listened to it. I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. Listen to him. I heard him on. He's just running all over TV now. I guess they're paying him to come on TV right now. But
No, I mean, this all of them running to be the V or on TV right now.
Oh yeah, well, that's put your money in.
But that's what he's doing.
I'm sure.
Oh, I know what the heck he was doing.
They're
with that
running,
right
ain't
there. He need to sit on down with that one.
So, what do you think of Doug Burgum?
I don't know nothing about him too high.
That's why Trump needs to pick him.
Yeah.
He's not that controversial. He's a billionaire. He's a governor, and he carries himself well. Like,
Where's he from now?
North Dakota.
Oh, okay. He don't hang out with that governor, does he?
No, the ones to the south of him, Christy Nome.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. 'Cause she kind of remind me of that girl out of Georgia. What's that, Margaret Taylor?
MTG.
Taylor Green.
Yeah, Margaret
Yeah,
Taylor
the one
Greene.
with the one
bad
with
built butch body.
That's the one.
What
Some guys
is
like it.
that though? What is that? I hadn't looked it up, but I like it. It just sounds good.
A bad built butch body.
Yeah, it just sounds good.
It means you look
sounds
like a
like
man.
She is kind of built now.
No, she was a CrossFitter.
I could see that.
Yeah, she was a
I could
CrossFit
totally
athlete.
see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could totally see that.
We can do a lot of pull-ups.
I can
Or
see
what
that too.
that fruity little organization calls pull-ups.
Oh.
I'm
But,
sour about it.
I
I can't
noticed.
do pull-ups. I'm not. That's my weakest
Even when you
point.
kick your feet.
But I love seeing her and old girl in a good scrap though. Look like both of them can get down pretty good. Now her and old picking. What's the girl name that called out?
Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah, I like her now. She got some. Yeah, you
She got
mess
some
with this girl
eyelashes,
like
that's
that
for
right
sure.
there now.
My favorite
Oh, yeah.
up there is Anna Paulina Luna.
That's the one-
she's-
that's you,
She's
huh?
great. She's fantastic.
Yeah, but Old Martha probably put on a good fight though. She's like a good country white girl out of Georgia, out of Mayberry or somewhere. So she's strapped pretty good now.
Yeah. And I think before she was in Congress, she was in the contractor business with now her ex-husband or something.
Oh, I thought she was applying a tractor in the field or something, boy. That's what I was about to say.
No.
Okay.
She ain't that down.
My old next door neighbor, she used to apply the tractor. Now she loves outdoors. Now she's almost stronger than I am. I mean, her lift up some stuff for her one time, man, and she's stronger than I am.
Did you ask her, ma'am, could you plow my fields?
I'm gonna leave that one alone, young man. I almost walked into it, and you almost set me up on that one.
I thought he was coming on in. Doors are open.
I had to pause sometimes. It just asked me.
I sure thought you was gonna come on in there.
Well, I gotta run, Duke. I appreciate the call, man.
All right.
See you, Duke.
This is part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And if you're a man out there and you're noticing a lack of energy, a lack of focus, like you feel like you're walking through life in a fog, including a lack of drive as well as sex drive, low libido, as they call it. Well, it could be low testosterone. And maybe you're having issues in the bedroom. The low T could be underlying, or it could be another whole separate thing like erectile dysfunction. Montgomery Men's Health was created to help guys going through these problems. And also created to help guys who don't really like going to the doctor. They're discreet, great location here.
That's most guys I know, though, Joey.
They can take care of you.
Yeah, they can.
So again, if you are seeing unwanted weight gain, loss of muscle mass, decrease in sex drive, knowing whether or not you have low testosterone is huge in combating some of these issues. And the providers there at Montgomery Men's Health can conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. And they have low T treatments there at Montgomery Men's Health that can truly change lives. Men after these treatments can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym.
Brother.
Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism, you usually even notice an increased libido.
That's all right.
And you can actually book the same day that you call. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Sunday, July 21st, 6:30 p.m. at the Montgomery Performing Arts Center, it's Wayne Newton live. Mr. Las Vegas himself, Wayne Newton, takes the Impact stage for one night only, Sunday night, July 21st. Wayne Newton, up close and personal at the Montgomery Performing Arts Center, July 21st at 6:30 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at the Impact box office or online at Ticketmaster.com.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Ernest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Ernest, 334-279-7431. Ernest Financial, LLC.
Hi, everybody. We're going to hang on to at least a small risk of a shower or storm into the evening hours. Most towns stay dry. Some towns get wet. Overnight low tonight down to about 66. Then for tomorrow with a high near 90 and Wednesday's high a little hotter, low to mid-90s. We'll call for a good bit of sunshine with rain chances fairly small, 20% or less both days. Maybe a better chance on Thursday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations since we began in 1906. At CB&S Bank, we're here for you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon, or as we're calling this thing online, Joey Clark Live. You can always like and subscribe there. That's the name of the YouTube channel, Joey Clark Live, or at the Joey Clark on Twitter X. And posts in there a lot more, especially sort of the pre-written monologue stuff. We're putting more of that on the X platform, and I'm very happy to say it's doing quite well. Let's go to the phones and talk to Bob. Hey, Bob, how you doing?
Joey, this is the most alarming call I'll ever make.
Okay.
To this program, and am blown away because I haven't seen anything else about it. About 2 months ago, there was a local Fox affiliate in Arizona that showed game camera video of a fourth-generation Arizona rancher. And the video showed an army marching through his property at night. Now, I'm ex-military. I got a little bit of knowledge of what an army looks like.
Mm-hmm.
They were all dressed in uniform, marching in single file through this man's farm at night. Well, that didn't give you any idea of how many men there were, because it's only, for minutes or whatever. But more alarming, the man had a pile of like foot slippers that go over boots. The pile would have filled 3 pickup loads, probably. And these were put on these soldiers' boots to camouflage them as they were walking through wherever they were walking. And I kept waiting for this to make a big story because, like I say, it was a local outlet there. And I have looked and looked, and I've never seen anything about it on the news. And I emailed Ted Cruz and Senator Kennedy and called Tommy Tuberville's office. And I really didn't feel like anybody cared. But the FBI director said more than once that we're in trouble, and it's just a matter of time before we're attacked in some manner. But this is actual footage of military formation walking into this country. I've never seen it on
I found a
anything.
Fox News article from February of 2024. Rancher sounds alarm on route for terror as Mayorkas denies responsibility for mass border crossings. And I think the video you speak of is right here. I think I'm looking at it.
Well, it blew my mind. It blew my mind.
Yeah. I'm seeing photos of what you're talking about. Yep.
Nobody picked up on it, Joey. That's what's crazy.
Well, I think what's happening is information overload, especially when it comes to the border. How many videos, how many images you just see constantly now, even after the so-called executive order he put through.
That's right. You see them all day long, but you don't see people in a military uniform slipping into the country.
It's true.
And that's why I can't believe that it hadn't been picked up, been put before Congress and everywhere else. Because, this is a real unusual, different thing going on here. But anyway, it was scary, alarming, and even more not understandable why somebody hasn't brought it before, as I say, before Congress or someone that can, shout the alarm that here's more objective evidence that we got a military situation in this country.
Well, based on this Fox article, he did plead with Congress at a hearing. He was one of the witnesses. And I think it's the same exact guy you're talking about because I'm seeing images of those boot covers you were talking about, the little slip-on cover.
Right. It had to be it. It had to be that. It had to be that. Well, guys, y'all keep doing a fine job. And let's just hope we can overcome the destroying of our nation. Y'all take care and thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things to be worried about in this world. It's like the basics.
Yeah.
Are always something you need to worry about. But I forgot to play this last week. Elon Musk shared this last week on the Twitter.
Okay.
And all he said is, yeah, Jack is right. It's a clip of Jack Dorsey. I believe he's talking about free speech, and I think the punchline here is similar to what you heard Governor Burgum talking about. It's innovation. And especially when it comes to AI or anything else we care about, it's actually more a question of a technological battle. Of course, there are the literal battles in this world, and there's policing needed in this world, and borders and all sorts of great things needed in this world. But the race for the future of freedom, I think it's going to come down, especially with AI, to technology. But let's listen in to Jack Dorsey, because I think Elon's right that Jack is right. Let's listen in.
This is going to sound a little bit crazy, but I think the free speech debate is a complete distraction right now. I think the real debate should be about free will. And we feel it right now because we are being programmed.
Yep.
We're being programmed based on what we say we're interested in. And we are told through these discovery mechanisms what is interesting. And as we engage and interact with this content, the algorithm continues to build more and more of this bias. But the algorithm, even if it's open source, is effectively a black box. You cannot predict 100% of the time how it's going to work, what it's going to show you. And it can be moved and changed at any time. And because people become so dependent upon it, it's actually changing and impacting the agency we have, the free agency we have.
So that means we need the government to come in and take over the algorithms, right, Eddie?
No, Joey.
No, that's the last thing you need to do.
Thank you.
Monopolizing the algorithms in those criminals' hands.
Well, on top of that, they'll screw it up, too, in the process.
But Jack has a different answer.
And I think the only answer to this is not to work harder at open source in algorithms or making them more explainable about what they're doing and why they're doing it, but to give people choice. Give people choice of what algorithm they want to use from a party that they trust. Give people choice to build their own algorithm that they can plug in on top of these networks.
Amen.
And see what they want, and they can shift them out as well. And give people choice to have really a marketplace around an algorithm that you can choose.
I like that.
I think that's
I
right.
like that idea.
And I think that's spot on. And when you're talking about the guy who founded Twitter and the guy who now owns it saying, yep, I think that's the direction we need to go.
Yeah.
I tend to agree. And especially the more I watch all these AI chatbots or all these AI, essentially neural networks coming to life, is you need competing ones.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, no doubt.
Just like human beings need checks and balances, I really do get nervous about the dream of a artificial general intelligence. One singular, they literally call it the singularity. One singular sort.
I don't like that idea at all.
No. But the idea that maybe you could have competing
that's fine.
Perspectives even within your AI intelligence,
I'd be more
I think
comfortable
that's
with that.
more interesting.
Yeah, I just the one thought theory like you're talking, I don't like that at all.
Right. Because even, like, think of it like, okay, HAL 9000 goes wrong. So we create a HAL 10,000.
Right.
But, like, you don't have to use HAL. There's all different sorts of programs that could run a spaceship.
Right.
Or, like, all the different artificial intelligence you see in sci-fi. And it's like, why would you point to science fiction? It's fiction. It's what's amazing. And I continue to believe, especially the older I get, is that life imitates art. So the artists, say science fiction writers, will dream stuff up, and then it'll be reality.
Then where's
not
my flying
exactly?
car, Joey?
Well, yeah. See, they get some wrong, but look at all
it's coming.
Look at the original Star Trek series.
Oh, no doubt.
So much of that we have now.
I'm ready for the tractor.
Like we have tablets now that look better than the captain's log.
Well, I hope they look better. I mean, a little bit of time has passed.
But it is incredible how we are getting closer to closer. So as we're failing to do basic things like questions of nationhood, as the upheaval in Europe, enforcing crime on the streets, there is this other question of going forward. Where does the technology take us? Because I think there are a lot of folks who think there's no downside. Just all good. And it's like, no, I am laser focused on what technology will actually allow us to be our best human selves. Because you better believe they're right now saying you can pick your gender from a menu of all sorts of things.
Right.
You can pick your sexuality from it. Like, by the way, you want to know the gayest way to say that you're gay? Say, I'm pansexual. Like, what happened to just saying you're gay, man?
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Or at least bi. It's just.
I would probably say congratulations and keep walking.
But you think, oh, they're offering you could be, you were born in the wrong body or all this stuff. I think the choice is going to come eventually. And philosophers from a century ago were foreseeing this, whether you want to be human or not.
Dude, I was born in the wrong body. Look at me. I belong in a rich man's body, not some poor struggling guy.
No, you look about right. Look at that shirt. I was wondering if you are a pansexual. I asked you that earlier, didn't I? I mean, the palm tree over the American flag print.
Just strictly the chicks.
Okay.
The ladies.
You're under your wife.
But of course.
Yes.
Thank you, Joey. But of course.
You're a good
That's
man.
what I mean by the chicks.
You're a good man.
That's her side name.
Actually, this guy's such a sweetheart. Such
Shut
a
up, Joey.
sap.
Shut up, Joey.
He's just so sweet. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Bates House of Turkey is celebrating their first anniversary in Montgomery and 100 years in business with a renovated Montgomery location. Come enjoy the famous hickory smoked turkey sandwiches, the old-fashioned roast turkey dinners, and their expanded grab-and-go frozen casseroles and soups. There's plenty of room for small groups in the expanded dining room. Order online at BatesHouseOfTurkey.com. Dine-in, carry-out, and delivery services available. Bates House of Turkey in Montgomery is open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eat turkey. Feel turkey.
Hello, this is David Ernest with Ernest Financial. And just like Ernest Financial makes lots of money for our clients, Blue Water has helped us make lots of money for our company. You cannot go wrong with advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting.
Blue Water Broadcasting is the #1 most listened to radio group in the River region. Find out how to put this reach to work for your business. Call us to find out how we can help. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
I'm Cam Marston. My radio show and podcast called What's Working with Cam Marston focuses on the workplace, workforce, and marketplace trends shaping Alabama business. My guests tell their stories and discuss their business expertise in such a way that you and I can learn from them and apply it to our own world. Listen to What's Working with Cam Marston each Saturday at noon right here on News Talk 93.1.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Don't you love the feeling of coming home to a clean house? Let Southern Bell's cleaning service get your home in order. Families in the River region trust Southern Bell's because they know Callan and Jesse will show up on time and believe in cleaning the old-fashioned way. They bring all their own supplies and specialize in full-service, residential, commercial, vacant properties, and construction cleanup. Estimates are always free. Call Southern Bells today at 546-0715 or follow them on Facebook at Southern Bells Cleaning River Region.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Final moments of the program. Let's go right to the phones and welcome back him personally, Ray Bowles, Prattville Carpet's own Ray Bowles. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
You know what? I was doing great until we stepped off the plane. It was 95 here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I mean, I've been in 70-degree weather for the last week. Who let this weather come in?
Welcome home, baby.
Welcome back to Alabama, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's when I went to go work out in a sauna of all things at 7:30 this morning. I'm like, damn, it's hot outside already at 7:30.
Did you notice the difference between the two?
You don't have to go to the sauna, just work out outside.
Right.
But hey, the upside to it, at least you don't have the traffic like you do where it's 70 degrees. And you can't move. You can't, I mean, everything was just heaving with people.
Oh,
it was
I bet.
crazy. But I tell you what, it sounds like y'all did really good while I was gone. I'm in the back room trying to figure out where I'm going to put all this merchandise they sold. Something about while Ray's gone, we're going to give it away.
Yeah, something
Chad
like
had a
that.
heck of a sale. Heck of a sale.
Terry did too.
Yeah, Terry had a great sale going. Yeah.
Even David.
What was
Yeah,
Terry
that's right.
and the Confederate flags about? I meant to ask him because I've had 3 people say something to me about that, and I don't know what they're talking about.
I'll be honest, I don't know either.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know.
remember things I say.
Yeah, Ray.
Especially on
either.
this show.
I don't either. Yeah, I'll have to ask him when he gets back in.
Yeah,
But
let me
listen,
know, would
if
you?
y'all are in need of a floor, I'm here. 285-8117. We'll come out and give you that free measurement. Within a week, you got it down. We've got some incredible sales going on. I've got 2 pallets of stuff that came in. I'm not sure who ordered it, why they ordered it, but I'm going to give you a good price to get it out of here. And it's a glue-down product, which is great for commercial work, or if you're renting a home, like you're going to have a home that you're going to rent.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want. You want to glue down vinyl planks because it's super easy and extremely cheap to fix if they scratch your floor moving in and out. But those are the things we will go over when you call us at 285-8117.
Again, folks, that number 285-8117 for Prattville Carpet. And when you call them, be sure to tell them you heard Ray Bowles here on the radio. We got a little time here, Ray. So how was the trip? Anything memorable?
It was awesome. It's like a fog. It's really like a fog. Now, the most memorable thing are the statues of all the men.
Yeah.
And the sculptors either did it in winter or they were trying to make themselves feel really good, one of the two.
Well, they had this whole theory that if you had, you're big down there, then you were dumb. So the smaller, the more intelligent and, civilized you are. It sounds like an excuse to me.
Yeah.
That must be. It's got to be. It was, but the couple we went with, and the only reason I pulled the trigger on this trip is his family's from Italy. So,
oh wow.
Like Thursday, we saw the Pope. On Wednesday, when the Pope did his thing, we saw him because his cousin's a priest in Rome, works for the Vatican.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
And got to see. It was just all of it was marvelous. It was just absolutely wonderful because we had our own personal tour guide that could speak the language, making sure we weren't getting ripped off on every turn.
That's a good idea.
And if you ever do that, the only suggestion I'd say is get all the money you want out. Don't get it there because they're going to rip you off every time you go to the change station.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes you quite bitter.
That's a whole career.
Besides that,
right
it was
there.
a great trip.
Well, great to have you back in one piece, and I appreciate it as always, Ray.
Man, it's great to be back. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, see you, Ray.
Again, 287 or
285-8117.
Yeah, excuse me.
Then you'll talk to Chad.
I'm tired.
Or Terry. Or David.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, did we learn anything today?
Today we learned, we learned quite a bit.
We learned Yeah,
well, I mean, I won't say we came away with a lot of impressive news, more just news.
Oh, the Donald Trump.
Now that's pretty good. I'm gonna
Sleep with Donald Trump contest that Playgirl did in 1990. We learned that today.
Yeah, I've got a thing on my phone. I'll be
That's
investigating
amazing.
that because I want to see the winners.
It's amazing.
Can we run a contest like that?
No, I don't think we don't have the cash to do.
Oh, darn it.
No, and it just reads like something that's like, David Pecker, I want you to write that I'm good looking, I'm handsome. We're going to have winners, 25 winners, one for each $1 million Ivana's going to owe.
Yeah, but what happens if Rosie O'Donnell is a winner?
Oh. Well, I guess he's got to sleep with her then. It's part of the rules.
Yeah, the rules are rules.
Let's get out of here. Greg Budell, happy hour. They're next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.